Introducing Real Time episode number 10. That's right, we made it. We're 10 episodes in. How you boys feeling about that?
Let's go, dude. Let's fucking go. Let's do this.
Feeling accomplished.
Heck yeah.
What a journey.
It's just the beginning.
Yeah, absolutely. Like 10 episodes in the grand scheme of things isn't like a whole lot, but I feel like I don't know for like this podcast, like I don't know, I'm like really proud that we've done as many as we have, and I think they're pretty damn good too, if I'm being honest. I think we have a pretty good dynamic going. And also like that we tend to talk about things like we don't talk about the most mainstream things. I mean we do, but like we also like we talk about things that we want to talk about. So it's like very rarely we're just like oh yeah, there's this thing going on in gaming that we don't care about. We're going to talk about it anyway. I like how we're very genuine in that way.
Yeah. We're authentic, or we're not imitators out here.
Yeah. Not the like.
Oh, what would it be if we were covering everything IGN covered, bro? Like, what the hell?
Exactly. We aren't kind of funny games out here. We're real time, bro. We're Eriq and Boyce.
What the hell? Yeah, get the hell out of here. No.
But yeah, man.
It's our show.
Yeah. What were you saying, Boyce?
10 episodes is more. 10 episodes is more than most Netflix shows get nowadays.
Jeez, dang. That's
dude.
Reality.
That 90 show.
I don't even
we know quality content, bro. I was watching Peacemaker on Mac. That's a good show, dude. If you haven't seen that yet, do yourself a favor, go watch Peacemaker.
I liked him in the movie. So the show was good actually?
Yeah, it's very much like Guardians of the Galaxy.
Okay, I didn't know if it was one of those things
with
where
gun.
Like he's like a cool, funny character, so we're trying to capitalize off that by giving him his own show, and it wasn't actually going to be good. That was my assumption, if I'm being honest.
No, anything Gunn touches is good, dude. Usually, I haven't been disappointed yet.
Glad to know I'm wrong on that.
And it was James Gunn. Yeah, and it was James Gunn who had penned the Dawn of the Dead remake that we were talking about earlier from Snyder.
Yeah.
No way, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, it rains, man. That's all I can say. They got this man working for Marvel. They got him working for DC. Wasn't that Star Wars?
Do you think James Gunn would do Star Wars? Turn it down.
That's already Guardians, right? He already did sci-fi. I don't think he has interest in that. I think we need some crazy shit, dude. Scorsese Star Wars, right?
What was that?
I was just going to finish what you were saying, like a joke. I was like, Scorsese Star Wars, would you watch this?
Scorsese would never
Honestly,
do a
I was
Star
going to
Wars
say,
movie.
I'd rather...
Yeah, dude, he's above that, dude. He's not like us peasants that watch superhero movies, bro. He's too enlightened, dude. He's too enlightened with filming the mob again and again. The brutal violence.
I'd rather see James Gunn do Rebel Moon, like take over that franchise from Snyder.
Yeah, dude. Just take over everything. Yeah.
I thought Rebel Moon was alright. I thought it was an alright movie. I didn't see the second part though, if I'm being honest.
It's already out.
I tried. Oh yeah,
wow.
Both parts are.
I think the first one was like no plot.
I tried the first few minutes of it, but
terrible.
The moment when I heard Corey Stoll's fake accent within the first few minutes, I just couldn't pay attention anymore, so I just turned it off.
Wait, was he speaking like British or something? He had like an English accent?
It was definitely something. It might have been British, but honestly, I can't say it was too memorable.
When are we ever going to learn, bro? I thought we learned with Kevin Costner, man. Americans cannot do that. Like, only British are allowed. Only Englishmen. We got that Tiger with an English accent, and then he speaks American. I'm like, I buy that. Then we got motherfucker Corey Stoll. Dude, I had to Google like the hell, the guy from Ant-Man, the guy from Billions. Bro, actually no. What's his name? It was so bad. I'm not even see what I can find it. Elizabethtown, that's what it was called.
What's it called? Shaun of the Dead. Is it Simon Pegg? Yeah.
Yeah.
He does a very convincing American accent.
I was like, dude, his dad is English? What the hell?
Yeah.
And yeah, dude, he's huge, I guess.
And it's funny because Huey from The Boys in the original comic, his appearance was based on Simon Pegg.
Mm-hmm.
That's definitely why they casted him. That's awesome.
Another fun fact is that one of the Diabolical, which like their cartoon spinoff, one of the episodes is straight up from the Boys comic, so it's different. And Huey is voiced by Simon Pegg. He's Irish from the comic.
Oh, really?
That was one of the best episodes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't watch all of them. I saw that where the kids kill their parents, and that shit was good.
I need a season 2 of Diabolical.
I really don't know, man. Maybe it's because Invincible just fully took over. It's like we already have a superhero cartoon. We don't need to. Man, I'm gonna see on YouTube. There is a poll. Go ahead.
Oh, and then there's a Cape Crusader coming out next month.
Yeah, that's gonna be crazy. I hope it's. I don't know the rating, but if it's not TDMA, it has to have really good writing for PG-13.
Definitely carries on like that noir tone that you see in the Batman, while still probably having like maybe a hard PG-13 like what the Dark Knight had.
Yeah, and that was really, really stretching it thin, dude. That was an intense film. I love, however, that it is set during like World War I, pretty sure, like 1940s, okay, World War II era, but either way, it's really awesome that we're getting a full-on show dedicated to a specific era.
That's the beauty of the multiverse.
Now, I think we were talking about it last week, but I really like how, like, I respect Rockstar when they take a specific timeline, and they run with it.
Eric, I think your mic cut out.
Sorry, I think so it's kind of a left turn, but I really like how they like Rockstar did this thing with their timeline, and I'm just like, I know more period piece things aren't a bad thing, there's definitely some merit, and I don't know, I'm curious to see like how they're going to do it, because I can't think of a lot of storylines from the comics that are from that timeline.
There's one recently that came out. I think it was called Batman First Night, and it kind of takes on a more mature Black Label Batman set during that era, like the 30s and 40s, while heavily tying into his first appearance roots. And they do a pretty good job with that, like keeping it grounded and realistic enough to like not feel too campy, but also just dark and real enough.
What the hell? How did I not know about this, man?
Oh, those 3 issues, they go quick.
What the fuck, dude? I didn't even, dude. I know like everything about Batman. It's fucking awesome, dude. He has the super huge ears with the purple gloves.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, I actually love this outfit for Batman. It kind of looks like Wolverine, but it's not. And it's actually like how he first looked. I thought at first you were talking about that series where it's about Bruce Wayne and it's how he becomes back, like his training. You know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah, the first night, or no, the night.
The not Batman. Yeah, dude. But I was reading one right now. I'm over like one issue. I love this art. It just looks clean as fuck, dude. That was about. It's called Gargoyle, Gotham's Gargoyle of Gotham or something like that. That you need to read, dude. That's violent, but like really, like not. It's really well written from what I've read.
That's another good one. When he's struggling to decide if he should be solely Bruce or solely Batman. Can't wait for issue 3.
Damn, dude, I haven't even read the second one. I was just like, I cannot have to know all of these because the last time I was like into was called the Beyond. You know the series where Joker's sane, and I was just like, I have to know. That first one was so good, dude. The second one, I was just like, I don't even remember it. It wasn't good though. And Beyond, the one where it's about charity, whatever, I didn't care about it. I was like the first one, and I think they're still gonna make that movie on Max. I'm pretty sure that there's already released like an image of it actually.
Before we
Batman the White Knight.
off
That's
on a comic book tangent, Eric, you want to talk about what you've been playing?
Yeah, man. Right now I've been playing, making myself stable just because I got it, and I've been enjoying that old school RPG kind of, like good versus like having an evil choice, and it's been so long since I've experienced it.
So are you playing through the series, or are you just
Like
playing
really,
the first game?
I'm just playing the first one because I just I'm like I've heard a lot of good things about it, and it was between that and Dragon Age Origins, and I'm like I don't know about doing the whole turn based right now.
Recently, I've mostly just been playing. Well, actually, I just played like 4 different games earlier since I had the off day. I started out with Wolfenstein: The New Order, just to kind of get that feel for the uber violent first-person shooter, to satisfy my thirst for Doom, the upcoming one, as well as kind of really dive back into machine games before Indiana Jones comes out.
Yeah, that's
And
not very.
yeah, and then just before we started recording, I was playing through the Metal Gear Solid Remaster collection, and I got to the part with Cyborg Ninja, and as much as I love the reliance on hand-to-hand combat, I'm probably not going to finish that boss fight like for a long while.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah,
Yeah,
dude,
it's
again.
just I
No,
I love the
you can't put the
strategic
game
elements.
down on a boss fight, boys.
That's when you feel, dude. No. I was playing RoboCop, dude, the new one, and like it was on my deck, so I was like, I should just go on PS5. But the final boss, the old man, I beat him, dude. And I was like, this shit is actually giving me it's making me sweat, dude. And I get to the cutscene, and it just crashed on me. I'm like, I can't do this. I'm not gonna do this anymore. I refuse. So I beat him, but as long as I know that I don't need the achievement,
I feel like the Souls games have kind of had like an opposite effect on me. Like, if I could beat any of the bosses there, then I should feel like I could beat any boss in any other game. But then I think it made me get too used to rage quitting so easily or so quickly.
That's literally what I do, dude. Every time I'm like playing a game, I'm like, dude, I play Dark Souls, I played Elden Ring, I can do anything.
Yep, as they say in Adam Sandler movies, you can do it. But sometimes gotta walk away.
Yeah, dude, it's just like this is not time, dude. But we all remember the good old days of when you had a disc and that happened was a lot bigger deal, dude. Because you're like, yo, this disc isn't working, man. It's not a digital thing. It's not the online or there's a scratch on this dude.
One of the worst.
Some games
Did
I'm
you guys
kind of
ever? Did you
glad
guys
that I
ever
own.
do the extreme home remedies for like scratches, like deodorant and stuff like that?
Yeah, dude, toothpaste. Yeah, yes, dude.
Man,
Holy shit!
good
Here and
times.
I'm
there.
like, how much detergent and like warm water, hot water? I'm like, dude, it's a scratch, dude. That's nothing's gonna get on there. It's like in the disc, dude. It's like scraped. I'm like, what the hell, dude? Did somebody like did like somebody come here and like grab a fork just to mess with me, dude? But dude, and also like sometimes the games that come in the boxes, dude, and like so hard to get out. You know, you get to push that
Oh
button.
yeah, yeah.
I'm like, dude, I'm about to break this game as soon as I got it, dude. They did care back then. Dude. We had the manuals and we had the memory card folder.
We get little maps in
They
our
sell boxes
Yeah, like
games.
empty. They're selling boxes empty these days, dude.
even steelbook cases are showing up empty with just a digital copy of the game.
That's insane. What game was it that really got the headlines for that?
I
Trying to
think
I
think.
it
think God of
might have
War.
been God. That's the one.
Wow, it didn't have a disc. There's no disc version.
Not for the collectors, I don't
I
think.
like it was.
No,
Yeah,
there's not a disc, man. I googled it. There's no images, bro. I'm on Google Images, bro. There's not a single disc of. It's just the PS5 bundle, dude.
I'm just so glad that they did do that for The Last of Us Part 2 because that's the last game I got the collector's edition for.
You got
Oh
history,
snap!
dude.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you have the Ellie statue. That's cool.
Oh, yep, I got the Ellie statue right next to the original Kratos and Atreus from 2018 with
That's
Sekiro
dope.
and the Order 1886.
Wow,
Man, that's
talk
cool,
about dead
bro.
franchises. That's a throwback, dude.
I hope to make my first collector's
I know
And
what
edition
else.
Death
almost
Stranding too.
So I wanted to get the Metal Gear Solid one, the new one.
Oh yeah.
does the Death Stranding one have another BB with its collector's edition?
I have no idea
Like
what comes with
another
the collector's
baby in a
edition.
box?
I just want it.
I wanted the Resident Evil 4 with Leon and the coat. That was dope.
That one is sick. I'm just glad I didn't go all in on the Cyberpunk collector's edition
Oh
way
man.
before
Oh yeah.
2020. What have you been playing lately, Eric?
Um, did you want to talk about the other two games you started up?
Oh, it was just Metal Gear and Wolfenstein.
Oh, it was just two games. Oh, okay. Yeah, I've just been playing a couple games too. Recently I finished my Life is Strange 2 playthrough and got the platinum. That was what I was working on for a while. And then, funny enough, randomly, my girlfriend got Saints Row. Like, she downloaded it and she started playing it. And I was watching her a little bit, and I was like, I kind of want to play this. Like the reboot from a couple years ago. I was like, I kind of want to play it. Because I'm not like a huge Saints Row guy. I played 3 and 4. I didn't beat either of them, and I never played the first two. So it was pretty low stakes for me because I'm not like a Saints Row person. So I played it, and I actually got pretty into it. It was like it was the perfect thing I needed at the time. It was just like a mindless, just like game that I could just play and just enjoy. And I ended up beating it. I think it was yesterday or the day before. And I thought it was a lot of fun. Like I said, it wasn't in the plans for me to play that game at all. I just kind of played it, and I really liked it. But yeah, after I finished those, I started up Cyberpunk 2077: Phantom Liberty. Started playing that again. I'm still early on, but I'm really liking it so far. And I started replaying Infamous Second Son because I haven't played that literally since I first got my PS4 back in 2015, 2016. So I'm enjoying that because I really don't remember much from that game, but it's really good. And visually, it still looks incredible. If I'm being honest, that the game's over 10 years old or almost 10 years old. Really impressive. And I completely forgot it was Troy Baker that voiced Delson, completely. As soon as I heard him, I was like,
Yeah.
I was like, yep, that's him. but yeah, that game is so cool. That game is really awesome. I forgot how cool that game is. But yeah, I've really been enjoying that. I'm still early on in both of those, but that's pretty much what I've been playing.
Nice. Did you ever play the infamous First Light, the DLC?
No, I never did.
Same. It was the one that focused on the side character. I can't remember her name with the light powers.
Yeah, it was Fetch.
And also, sorry to circle back to me, but I just remembered that the third game I played earlier was Hitman Contracts. First few missions.
Well, I've actually beat that one.
That one, it came out after Hitman 2 Silent Assassinate, and it had that really grittier, more darker vibe, and it was a bit more generous in terms of difficulty.
It's a remake of the first one because the first one, if you look at it, you'll understand. It's very, very dated.
Hmm. I played the first.
It even had issues when it was out.
The first game of that reboot trilogy. I started playing the first one because I was I feel like I would be into Hitman as someone who is a fan of black box style missions in Assassin's Creed. I was this game is all about trying to assassinate your target whatever way you want, and I was I feel like I'd be into that. But I played a couple of the stages, and I don't know. It didn't really hook me. I don't know what it was.
I think it might have been.
Go ahead.
Oh, sorry.
Right.
I was going to say it might be because of the episodic style of it. The story feels a little disjointed and disconnected, and to really get it, you have to watch the cutscenes. But with the originals, they feel more easy to follow. But then again, those could be a bit more mission based as well, as opposed to story centric.
Yeah, that probably is it. I would also say that they're just. I feel like the new ones for me were kind of overwhelming. There's so many possibilities, and I'm just I played the first ones first, and the criticisms, including Contracts and 2 mainly, were that you still have to. It's not really. I mean, there's a lot of freedom, but in reality, you have to do things a certain way to patch the level. And I'd have to go on YouTube because it's true. There's just there's little things where they radio immediately as soon as they'll start feeding you. There won't be a meter that fills up. But Absolution was just got free on Prime, on Amazon Prime, so I just got that.
Yeah, I still have it, so one day I might try to get back into it because I did like what I played. I just didn't. I just started playing other stuff. I guess it kind of fell to the wayside.
I think you'd like Absolution. It's a lot more mainstream, but I feel like for someone who hasn't played any of them, it would still be offered enough different things for you to play. I'm not sure what Boyce thinks.
Yeah, because I'm not really playing this for the story. If I'm being honest, I just kind of want to play a fun game. So that's kind of what I'm looking to get out of Hitman.
I think Blood Money is a good starting point because it's the last one that used that kind of classical style of Hitman play before it switched on to next gen on PS3 and 360. And Blood Money, it's just the way they built the world is rich.
That's the one that everybody talks about.
Blood
And
Money.
it's got Jesper Kid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Oh, it was like he composed the score.
That's right.
Yeah.
This music is really good in these games. I forgot that too.
Yep, if only you would come back to the franchise. Although,
Yeah, what is he doing now?
I actually don't know.
I
The
think
last game
he
I know of
did
that he did was Assassin's Creed Valhalla. But I'm sure he's done other stuff since then. Maybe.
I was not expecting that, though. It's so weird to think that so complete, not, or they're actually very similar, but very different to the two franchises. He did a Transformers game.
Oh, yeah, he's got range.
He did Borderlands 2 and 3. He did Borderlands, dude.
Hans Zimmer of video games.
For sure.
Zimmer does games too, dude. What the?
Speaking
he basically just did Assassin's Creed.
Speaking of Jesper Kid and Assassin's Creed, you guys want to talk about this remake news?
Oh yeah, dude. We can go there. We can go there.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about this last week, but we didn't end up having an episode, so we're gonna talk about it this week because I don't care. It's our podcast. We can talk about what we want. So basically, the Ubisoft CEO, good old Yves Guillemot, came out and pretty much said, "Hey, we have Assassin's Creed remakes on the way." Now, it's been rumored for a while that Assassin's Creed 4 Black Flag was getting a remake. We didn't know about, and also Assassin's Creed 1, that's been heavily rumored for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know if he's referring to those, or if like multiple means more than two, and they're gonna be like it could be any game really. So I think it's pretty much safe to say, like I said, the Assassin's Creed 4 one is pretty much confirmed. Assassin's Creed 1 has to be coming at some point. It's the oldest of the series and could use it the most. But like in terms of other games, like what do you guys think this could entail?
I mean, yeah, dude. I think your second take was right. Yeah, dude. They said multiple for a reason. They're trying to get us talking, man, because we've been known about 4 and 1. So I mean, what does that leave, man? 2, 3. Yeah, they're both so.
Because the thing is, I feel like with the Ezio
3's like the one that's so different. But,
yeah, like I'm rooting for 3, right? I feel like the thing with the Ezio games is that it's like I don't think they would just remake one of the Ezio games. I think if they were to do that, they would have to remake all of them, and they might not want to do that. Plus, they already have the Ezio collection, so I feel like the Ezio games can kind of be ruled out in terms of like ground up remakes. What I'm thinking, like for Assassin's Creed 1, I don't think we'll have to worry about that for a while. I feel like a lot of people were saying they're going to do it for the 15-year anniversary. 15-year anniversary passed. We got Mirage, which is supposed to be like a AC1 like love letter. It wasn't really, but I feel like they're going to hold off the AC1 remake for the 20th anniversary in like 2027 or so. So like I feel like we'll probably get that then. The Assassin's Creed 4 remake, no clue when, but we were on talking about 3, and I feel like they might remake 4, 3, and Rogue and put it in a collection like the Kinway collection or something like that. Similar to what they did with like Mafia, where you can like with the Mafia games when they were doing the definitive editions, you could buy the games separately, but they also had a collection. I feel like they might do a similar thing there. We can buy these games separately, but they also might have a collection that you can get. Because like realistically, I feel like anything past 4, like Unity's fine. It doesn't need a remake. Syndicate doesn't need a remake. The RPG games certainly don't need remakes. And I don't think the Ezio games are getting remakes because you would have to remake all 3 of them and already have a remastered collection. So like I said, I feel like that really leaves like 4, 3, and Rogue really to be remade. I think that might be what they're referring. That's my theory. That's what I think. I think it might be the Kinway games that are getting remade.
Yeah. And you make a good point because 1 is Mirage really is too similar to that setting already, and I don't know. That makes me think maybe it's 2, man. Now that we're talking, I've always said 2 doesn't. They never needed to make Brotherhood or Revelations. That was just like
So you think they would just
fan
remake 2?
service. It was the best. I think they would just remake 2 because that game already has like a. I understand the doubt because I understand like you make that, people are going to start asking where's Revelations, where's Brotherhood, but I feel like looking at it as the Assassin's Creed fans, Assassin's Creed 2 is still the best one that they made. Like in terms of when it came out and the amount of quality and thought, it really felt like a game that wasn't. It was setting up sequels, but it wasn't like on that train of. It was still like an artistic thing, like I want to make this because that's a story I want to tell.
I see what you're saying. Like it's very much a sequel to Assassin's Creed. It was trying to build on that and make it better.
It feels like it ended definitively. Like even to the tiniest details where he grows facial hair until the very end, and you can tell you really feel the transformation.
Yeah, and his voice
is complete. Like he's not a kid anymore.
Yeah,
his voice changes. He's like a man now, and he's fully delved in. I love that. I love that story. I think it would have to be that and 3 because 3 it just feels so obvious. It even like while it's kind of in the same engine as 4 and Rogue, it still is so different, and I really do respect them for like going in that direction with 3 and 4. They really are completely even from each other. They knew they had something good with the boats, so they were like, we got to double down on this part of it. But 3 had really good things. It just had a lot of things holding it back, and that just is like I mean, if you're a game developer, you're filming at the mouth to correct all those little things.
Yeah, the more you talk about it, actually does make me kind of desire to more like because my thought was like, oh, I think of Ezio like the Ezio games like all together, whereas you're like 2 is like stands on its own pretty well, and I feel like that would be interesting to like chronicle that like in like with more modern standards. That would be pretty.
You gotta remember, dude. You gotta know. I didn't think they were gonna remake Resident Evil. I had no.
True.
I thought Resident Evil 2 was like a one and done thing. I thought Resident Evil 2 was like just, and I loved it, and I was happy with that.
Yeah.
It kind of.
I say that. Yeah. I say that. Let me just I say that because Resident Evil 2, it still has a continuing plot, but they still made it like a one-off, even though it's very clearly not, even in the story.
Okay. So you're saying what you're saying is you could see them remaking 1, 2, and 3 along with Black Flag.
Yes.
Okay. That sounds like a pretty good lineup, to be honest. What do you think, Boyce?
I kind of envision them following suit behind Konami and Capcom. I mean, you'd probably want to remake first what everyone's clamoring for, the most like the fan favorite that has the least accessibility today. And I feel like that could easily be the first game first, but of course it would probably take a couple of years just to get past the recency of Mirage. And I mean, it being Ubisoft, I even say they might even reuse some assets from Mirage to make it more so. But I see them also definitely doing Black Flag as a remake because of the disappointment with their other Sea Warfare game recently. The one I can't even remember the name of. And just really, that's the one. I was almost about to say Sea of Thieves.
Close bar, I think.
Like, if they could probably make it today to really tailor the definitive pirate gaming experience, I think that's definitely on the right track for Assassin's Creed 4. And Assassin's Creed 2, that would also be logical for them to do first because technically that's like the godfather of the franchise.
Yeah.
Because, yeah. Like it has that same like artistical merit that you'd see in Silent Hill 2, or even that same iconography from Resident Evil 2. It's just their big centerpiece, their flagship entry for the franchise. So my bet on the first remake would be either Assassin's Creed 1 or Assassin's Creed 2.
That's a good take for that. That's very interesting.
Yeah.
I would be honestly, I would be surprised because I really do think it's 4.
Yeah, like I would take.
It's
I would
also
take,
a
like,
good bet.
yeah. The thing is with 4, like I think 4 is a fine game. I think it's fine the way it is right now. Would I take a remake and also play the heck out of a remake? Absolutely. But if I'm not like I said, it's pretty much confirmed at this point. I feel like, and I'm happy with that. But like 3 though, like to me, like 3 would like a colonial America setting, American Revolution, the frontier, the snow, like all those things on like modern platforms would be like, I don't know, that would be so cool because there really aren't, like you were saying, there really aren't many games like Assassin's Creed 3 out there at all. So I don't know. I feel like if they had
maybe they were saying about 4, they were calling it the only pirate game because there's no other pirate games. So they really do go out there and
like
make
they throw in some more quality of life stuff and all that. Like I think, like I don't know, like I would love to see 3. Like that's the main thing that's the main one of all the potential remakes. That's the main one that has me excited is remaking 3. Even though, like I said before,
the thing is though,
like I was saying with the Ezio collection, that's already a remaster. Assassin's Creed 3 has a remastered version, but I mean we see remakes of remasters all the time. So I mean, who really knows?
So going back to what Boyce said, I think that you would actually really like 2 because you really like Unity, and I feel like if they like the most similar in setting is like Renaissance Italy.
Actually, now that I think about it, I could definitely see 3 getting a remake, but I just don't think it would be the first game to be a remake because of the story placement, with it essentially being the end of Desmond Miles' story in the game. And I think in order to reel players in, like they'd want to start with like the accessibility point.
That's a really good point. We completely forgot about the whole Desmond of it all.
Yeah.
Hey, everyone's forgotten the modern plot.
I'd be like, if I was never played Assassin's Creed and that's the first game, what the hell is going on?
Which, funny enough, Assassin's Creed 3 was the first game I ever played. That was my introduction to the series. I didn't know what was going on with the Animus stuff. I was just like, I just want to play in the American Revolution.
I'll roll. I'm trying to run. Where's Connor, dude? This isn't Connor. Who the hell is this?
Right, I was like, dude, I just want to be in the Animus.
Where's the axes, bro? I'm trying to use my hatchets. Dude, that makes me think, what if it is 1, 2, 3? What if they're doing 1 and 4 doesn't even matter because there's no really it's very like standalone the enemies, right?
Mm-hmm.
If they did 1, 2, 3, I would be really happy with that. I feel like that would be probably one of the best outcomes of
dude, they're gonna do 4. They're gonna do 4, then 1, dude. That's what I think. That's what they're doing Metal Gear Solid, dude. They're making 3 first, and what's going to come after that? 1. Because of chronology.
Exactly. And
3, 1, 2.
I think that they could even do 2, and I wouldn't even care if they did Brotherhood and Revelations and all that, because like you had said earlier, Eric, like Assassin's Creed 2, it has like that definitive ending where you could almost view it as standalone. And then just even maybe you could view even, well, I mean, of course they are extensions to Ezio's story, but if you were to do just 1, 2, and 3 as remakes, like back to back, that'd probably be enough to reel in new players for Ubisoft.
That'd be crazy, dude.
The only thing is, I feel like with the ending of an Assassin's Creed 2 remake, like, I feel like they would have to throw in bits. If they were to never remake Brotherhood or Revelations, they would have to throw in bits of the beginning of Brotherhood. Because Brotherhood does kind of wrap that up.
Is that too ambitious? I'm thinking about it now. Would it be too much?
It
Like, how
might be,
big would
but
that game be if Ezio was all
Ubisoft and the Word of Ambition go together. No, I'm just kidding, but like,
Well, dude, yeah. How long is Odyssey? How long are the RPGs alone? A single RPG, that's for like what, 80 hours? Everyone's saying,
they're long,
dude. Assassin's Creed 2, apparently I had to Google it, but yeah, dude, they were actually way shorter than I remember. Like 2, Brotherhood, and Revelation, they were all like 12 hours.
Really? To me, I don't know. Maybe it just takes me a long time to beat 2, but like 2.
Because we were kids, dude. We were kids.
But I also played it when I was a teenager and in adulthood, and it still takes me a while. It feels like
it's about 19 hours.
Oh, okay.
Which is like not even the nth of.
Because Brotherhood and Revelations feel much shorter than 2 to me when I play them.
I just Googled 15 hours for Brotherhood, and Revelations is only 12 and a half hours. For this, like the full. I mean, to get everything is 34 hours, but I mean, half of that's what, collecting flags?
Yeah, literally.
That would be insane, dude. If they played Ezio one game, holy shit.
They gotta get the face right.
Sounds doable because all you'd have.
Yeah. He's gonna be out here looking like Mr. Potato Head. His PS1 has face.
Young Al Pacino.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, dude, he kind of did look like him, right?
A little bit. Wait, especially in Revelations, he looked like older Pacino.
Dude, freaking Desmond looked like Al Pacino. I love that they started making his face look like Ezio. Like they kind of, didn't they? They kind of, I swear they kind of did something with each one of them.
I think it was the scar on the lip where on his face that was similar to the one Ezio got when he had the rock.
Was he jacked? Was he jacked in 3? Because Connor was like buff as hell. Was he buff? Or no, he's still kind of like Desmond's just kind of skinny.
Yeah, Desmond, they didn't really do anything.
Still slender, but
he's out here switching over to freaking. Nah, dude, he looks weird in 3. He does not look the same.
Yeah.
And then he had his dad. Remember his dad?
Yeah, William.
When they do the remakes, would you rather did they record newer lines, or would you rather they just do the Metal Gear Delta method where it's new graphics but keep the original voice lines?
I want them to go balls to the walls. If this is a remake, I want them to take whatever creative liberties to change. Because I'm not.
That's I think like.
You know, I'm not one of those purists that are like, oh, I want everything to be the exact same. Because if that's the case, then I'll just play the original version. I would like them to see what changes they would make to it for like more modern standards.
Yeah. Like, yeah, I mean, like I look at it like they're gonna do that. I feel like it's a perfect opportunity to correct some of like the things that we didn't like in the story.
Yeah. Like if they were to remake 2 for example, like I would love to see more stuff with the dad and the brothers before they die, because like we see that Ezio's close to them, we like do missions with them, and we form a little bit of an attachment, but like it feels more like Ezio's lost. But if they did remake that story, I would love it if like we got more with them, so that way when it happens, it feels like more of our loss as well, Like I feel like that would be something that I would like to see. I would like to see more stuff from Claudia and the mom in that game. Like just little things like that I feel like they could do more of. Similar to like the Mafia Definitive Edition, how there were certain things in the original version. I never played it, but like I've heard there are certain things in the original version that aren't as fleshed out as in the remake. So I would like to see maybe stuff like that.
Yeah, I would really like to see more of like. I feel like they really fumbled the bag with like some parts, like love interest wise. I feel like I really like that thief girl, and then I don't know. I just feel like some of that was just like Brotherhood was so weird because they all of a sudden he had this girl he loved, and I'm like, oh come on, we don't need this. If anything, it took away from him because he's supposed to be like a player that didn't care. I felt so like dumb, like forced. Like he was always a good guy. No, dude, he was a slime bag. He was like a womanizer, and then he became better. He wasn't always good.
Well, I don't know. I feel like he really liked Christina though.
Yeah, he liked the I'm trying to remember. Like, is that the one he married? I didn't care about her
No,
at all.
the one he married
He
is
did not want
Sophia.
to
The
get love.
one that he was involved with as a teenager, like when he was growing up, was Christina.
Yeah, in Brotherhood, he liked her, and two, she was like NPC. They didn't have him interact with her. And then the second game's like, oh man, it was actually this tragic loss. Like he's like, give me a break. His whole life is suffering.
And
No, dude, the
I
whole
also really
significance of his.
that makes me think. I also really want, if they were to remake 2, I would like for it to really feel like his life is being turned upside down. Like it already does feel like that, but I like to feel it even like more. Like, you know, because it all happens so fast. It's like immediately, oh, it happens, and then oh, we gotta go.
So it'll feel like you lost your family.
Yeah, like I would love it if we have this sense of normalcy. Like this is like we go through Ezio's day to day for like a couple days, right? And then it's like all of a sudden, boom, it's flipped upside down. I would love
I really think that could work. Yeah, I think it would work because
aging
we're this is like before Last of Us.
Yeah, and also with the aging too, like him aging up is like you finish the sequence and then it's like loads in and then it's like a few years later and he's like, oh, I'm this old now, and it's like, oh well, it just feels like it happened. Everything just feels so fast, and I just feel like maybe leaving that a little more time to breathe, so we really feel his aging a little bit more, rather than it's like
so cool, dude.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I feel like with the I don't know. The more I think about it, the more a 2 remake really does make me go, that could be fire, to be honest. But we'll have.
Hey, 2 is still the only one, not even a trilogy. 2 is the only single Assassin's Creed game where there's aging between sequences like that.
Yeah, because it's never that significant. Even with like something like 3, right? Like Connor is what, like 15 or something when he first gets the assassin robes, and then like it goes up until he's like 19. I think he's like maybe 19 or in his early 20s when the game ends. But even that's not super significant because after the time jump, he's like 19, and then he ages up like a couple years. So like we see we see Connor grow a little bit, but not in the same way that like we see it's like Ezio. Like we literally see this. We were with this man from birth. You know, it's crazy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, we saw every significant part.
We saw him take his first steps. No.
Dude, he's probably supposed to be a teenager. He's probably supposed to be a teenager, but that's when they were too lazy to like. Because he was like 17. Like, there's no way, dude. He looks 30 in the beginning.
Yeah, he's supposed to be 17. Most assassins are very young. Funny enough, most assassins in the series.
They just don't change their voice or anything.
Yeah.
It makes me think of Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, if they were to do an Ezio remake, I'd love it if they took some inspiration from that. Like you said, that sense of normalcy, that status quo, and maybe more quality of life features, while providing some more, like, an even more authentic picture of Renaissance Italy.
And it's funny you say it because that was like near the end of the game, or Red Dead Redemption, when you do all the family stuff. Yeah, but they did a really good job.
Even the camp stuff and dialogue.
Cool.
Like a lot of people call that boring, but I loved it. I loved every second of it. I still do.
They were good. They was good. I was curious to see what would happen. I was like, I gotta raise my son, man.
Yeah, like I feel like anybody who played the first game, like if they get to that epilogue and they think it's boring, I don't see how you could. Like if you've played the whole game up to this point, and then you get to the epilogue, I'm like, dude, that's like one of the best parts of the game, in terms of like fan service.
Like the whole point, dude, he's finally with his family.
Yeah.
And it's such a good parallel, considering the epilogue, finale of the first game.
Yeah. Which makes it all
still has yet to be beaten. It really is. It's yet to be topped, dude. Honestly, that's my opinion. Like permanently.
Yeah. So.
Yet to be topped.
Yeah, those are our thoughts on the Assassin's Creed remakes. It should be. I mean, it's pretty exciting either way. No matter what we get, more remakes of those older. More glorious.
Bro, we haven't even gotten Shadows. We got shit.
Yeah, like, dude,
Shadows is yet to be out, dude. We're like, damn.
Yeah.
We're eating good.
Older titles getting remade is still exciting because that's when Assassin's Creed was really like on its A game. Oh man.
For real. Honestly, let's be real here. We all Liberation. I'm just kidding. I was saying we all just really want Liberation 3 remade. That's the only one.
Hey, I mean I didn't even think about that. That's also a possibility.
They're going to remake Chronicles 2D, man, with Unreal Engine 4. It's the same exact game in 2D, bro. That's what we really want.
Just remake the Chronicles games. That's what he's talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what we want.
Oh man, but yeah, speaking of Assassin's Creed, you guys hear about this petition thing?
Yeah, dude. Like, what the heck? How is this even like?
Yeah, I don't know.
People are reporting on like that's the only thing.
Oh man, this headline on screen where it says petition for Ubisoft to cancel Assassin's Creed Shadows hits 50,000 signatures. It might be even more now, but I'm shocked. I'm surprised. I'm not, but I am at the same time. Because of what?
Wow.
That's crazy.
I don't understand.
It's pretty much
this is
like
the crowd
trolling.
That I was defending. Like in that episode, I think it was episode 7. I had said I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I can understand people being like disappointed, right? Like, yeah, I can understand that. And I was like, yeah, you shouldn't invalidate people for being mad about this, but like then you're going this far. That's a bit much, you know what I mean? Like that, because there's a difference between like being disappointed that like you aren't getting a Japanese samurai versus you're wanting to cancel the game and you're like full on outrage because it's different, you know.
That's another kind of message.
Yeah, because that's when you get into the territory of bigotry and stuff like that. So it's like, you know, that there's a difference. And if I'm being honest, at the time, I didn't realize that a lot of the crowd that was like complaining were people that were like just weren't happy that because of, I don't know, whatever their personal agenda was. I thought it was more so like I'm disappointed by this, not necessarily this is bad kind of thing. And that's where I disagree, you know? Especially because when people bring up the whole historical accuracy thing, it's like, but when the hell has Assassin's Creed been historically accurate? You know, like they like to ground themselves at a little bit, but like they've always been about rewriting history. They've always been about that.
Yeah.
So like, I don't know. This is just
talking about a series where there's a magical apple.
Yeah.
It just makes me think there wouldn't have been a petition if there was a white dude instead. That's my opinion.
Oh, probably not.
We wouldn't be getting news about this. It's not really, you don't really care that, and let's be real here, you don't care. If you're writing this petition, it's like, nah, man, Ubisoft is right. They were right to make this move because it's kind of the whole point, trying to get rid of that. We have to normalize, you know, like different kind of characters, and it's fucking real too, by the way.
Yeah.
So it's not like. Yeah. And everyone tries to use it as a point. They try to use it as a point that, but you said it was like, no, they're saying they're trying to be like historical. They're not aiming for, if that was the case, the apple of Eden wouldn't be a fucking thing, dude. Because that's a magical apple. Is that historically accurate?
If that was the case, Leonardo da Vinci wouldn't have been our
first game
in Assassin's Creed 2.
Yeah.
Like,
he knows Ezio, brother. They're BFFs. Like,
they literally put freaking Cleopatra, freaking so many different historical people in these games, right? No one's ever batted an eye or had an issue. If anything, people have thought it was cool, but now they're doing it and it's like an issue, you know, which is like, again, I can understand. There's a line between like, I'm a little disappointed that it was a Japanese samurai versus, I'm outraged that it's a black samurai. You know what I mean? So It's just stupid. I wonder if whoever started this was like, I'm just gonna start this and see what happens, and then it actually like took off, or people are actually genuinely trying to get this game canceled. Because for one, that's not gonna happen.
No,
I'm actually
like, I genuinely think that Ubisoft has like a actual footing to stand on with this. As much as I don't want to like defend Ubisoft, but like, you know, I'll defend them against these people. That's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
Actually, looking at. Oh, sorry.
No, I was
gonna say, I'm actually looking at the petition page right now, and it's up to, as of today on June. Well, as of today, July 7th, it's up to 70,473 signatures with 5,075 people signing it today.
Here's the thing. I can almost guarantee you 100% that none of these people that are legitimately signing this petition are Assassin's Creed fans. They're not Assassin's Creed fans, so why are you worried about it? Because if you were an Assassin's Creed fan, you would know that this is the norm. The only difference is that he's playable. Sure, but whatever. It doesn't matter. Like I feel like real legitimate Assassin's Creed fans would accept this with open arms. They'd be like, "Oh, cool," because that's what Assassin's Creed has always done. It's always like taken history and twisted it and done its own thing with it, while still keeping true. Like, yeah, it's still like somewhat accurate, but like at the same time, they're taking those creative liberties because they've established from the beginning of the franchise that they can do that. They established that this isn't supposed to be 100% like historically accurate. Nothing is true. Everything is permitted. It's the freaking mantra of the entire Creed in the series.
Oh shit!
And so, yeah, it actually even brings.
You just drop the mic right there, dude. Put the bow on the present right there. Just beautifully put. Holy shit! The fucking name of the game, dude.
It kind of brings to mind the question of just what do people want or expect from entertainment that's historical. Accuracy, I guess, kind of brings to life like some of the, it brings you to a time you never experienced. But of course, Assassin's Creed isn't even the only place for that. Ghost of Tsushima did it, and even then that had a few inaccuracies.
It took its liberties, yeah.
It was still good quality. Yeah, and it was entertaining. And I feel like if you were to title Assassin's Creed Shadows anything outside of the Assassin's Creed name, like if you were to just call it Shadows or whatever, like people might still be clamoring on about it just because it's Ubisoft. But then if you were to take Ubisoft or Assassin's Creed out of the title, then people might be a bit more lenient towards it because, I mean, for comparison, for instance, let's say you have an action movie from someone like the guys who did John Wick, and you had a movie from Michael Bay. Now, you can still like both because, sure, one just has a bit more effort to it, and the other one is just entertaining popcorn fun. And I feel like if you do that, well, if you don't do that with Assassin's Creed, like take that certain viewpoint, then you're just like ruining it for yourself. I mean, it doesn't have to be a complete masterpiece to be good.
Yeah, that's
it just has to be Assassin's Creed, man.
Exactly. And I also feel like within these conversations, I feel like accuracy and realism like get lost in like what they truly are. Like within this context, like
I really don't think people
yeah, like I feel like realism and accuracy is basically just like what rules have been established for this thing, right? Like realism isn't always what would be realistic in our world or accurate to actual history. It's what is established within the context of the thing that you're consuming. So it's like, you can watch something like Star Wars and like, we're like, oh, that's not realistic, obviously, but it's realistic in that world because it's established that these are things that are possible in that world. So it's like, I feel like these things, people don't really know how to discern what's like accurate for the thing that they're like consuming versus what's actually accurate, because they aren't the same. And I feel like this is where people
ultimately it is
it's
just
not
that
historically accurate, but sure, it's not historically accurate, but
there
are a lot of things in Assassin's Creed that aren't historically accurate, but they're accurate for Assassin's Creed because this is what Assassin's Creed has established itself as. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's what it is, really. I mean, that's their favorite. It's these kind of people's favorite defense. All of a sudden, they're like the least concerned with accuracy, but then it becomes their number one defense as soon as they see something that they're not used to or they don't like. Right?
Right.
Motherfucker. What you know what's not accurate is if you pulled an AK-47 out, dude. That's not accurate to the fucking period of time.
It's like, where in our world is somebody getting into Animus and reliving the memories of their ancestor? Take me there. I would love to see it.
Yeah, I mean, I don't fucking know. Yeah, dude, let's all go there, bro.
I don't know, man.
Area 51?
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, literally, these people aren't Assassin's Creed fans. They just aren't. They aren't. They don't care about this franchise.
It's a bunch of Call of Duty guys that are like...
Yeah, exactly. Crazy.
They just want any kind of shield they can use to hide behind their bigotry, man. Exactly. That's it.
It's literally what it is. Bottom line.
We don't need them, man. That's all this is right here is a self-report read if you sign this petition. That's all. That's all it ever is, man. And honestly, if we want so badly,
like Asian hate and prejudice and whatnot, like that's a thing that needs to be stopped, like overall. But then I kind of want to ask, like, how many people have felt that they've been able to walk away with lessons of culture or immersion from an Assassin's Creed video game?
Yeah, but it's no, it's so special. It really is special to this franchise. Mm-hmm.
And it's like
I can't think of any other.
It's like you don't play Assassin's Creed 2 and then walk out and say that you know how to make the best pizza in Italy or anything like that. But like you were able to witness that locale, that atmosphere, that experience of a Renaissance Italy. But I can't say that you've really been able to bask in it exactly.
You're just able to appreciate it.
Exactly. And I will say, even though they do take liberties and stuff like that within their worlds, Ubisoft is always, I mean, at least from what I've experienced, they seem to be very respectful of the places that they go in Assassin's Creed. Like, I feel like they don't really half-ass it, or like they really want to capture this era, this culture, and like you were saying, it's like you're able to appreciate it more. Even if you you can go in not knowing much of anything about it, and that's what you have things like the database, which they tell you all about different things and locations and people, and I don't know, it's really, really cool. And like, I don't know, man, it's just like, I just don't see how anybody could like look at this and be like, all of a sudden Ubisoft is switching up and being like, they're just doing this just to do it, or they're doing it for DEI, or it's Sweet Baby Inc., or like, I feel like they're just excuses, It's literally all it is.
No, definitely not. I can tell. I mean, the guy up on the stage is like some Swedish white guy that's like the main developer for this game, and he's speaking really passionately about it. Like, you can tell it comes from a good place. It's not like I think it is kind of funny that he's not from here, but from I don't know if you guys can correct me, but like they played American hip hop music when he first shows up, Yoshia.
Yeah.
And I do think that's interesting.
That did throw me off a little bit. I was like, I've never heard anything like this in an Assassin's Creed game. That's one thing I will say. I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, but I mean,
but he's not supposed to be American.
Yeah,
that just makes me think that. Swagger. I think that just makes me think that there is that this was kind of made with us in the U.S. in mind, because he's not from the United States at all. He's from Africa, so. But he knows that people here, because I don't know where it's sold. I would assume it's the biggest seller here, but also Europe. But I don't know. That to me is like they have their eyes on the U.S. right now, and like getting us to play this game. That's why they had the hip hop. Just like Miles, it made sense for Miles
and
because
I
Into
mean,
the Spider
I
Verse
don't
had.
know if that's gonna be in the game either. Like, it might just be for the demo.
Yeah, I liked it, but like if you're gonna I feel like you should have that for more than just this character who we've never met. You know, like have some hip hop in in Ezio. You know, but I do think that ultimately it still comes from a good place, and I'm still excited to see this story. You know, I love this setting.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm really intrigued. I'm like, what brings these two characters together? I feel like that's what interests me. You know.
And the thing that makes me upset about this like stupid petition thing is like I wouldn't mind if they because they made a DLC that was great for Black Flag Freedom Cry, right? Where you play as a former slave, and I'm like, oh, if people are so upset, I'm like, I don't want them to get anything, right? If this was just a surprise and it wasn't made in order to appease these people, that we shouldn't give a second thought. Sure, it would be cool to have a DLC separate story where you play as like a local samurai, but after all this like debacle and mess, it's like I don't know, man. I feel like that defeats the purpose. You're getting into these haters.
Yeah. Yeah, I definitely agree.
So I'm like, we do get it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we don't need that shit, dude. And this game's gonna be fucking huge anyway.
That'd be
dude,
like, oh, we won. That'd be like a oh, we won kind of moment, and it's like we don't.
Yeah, and it's like no, dude. Like, your shit, dude. You're in a place and you're in fucking like it. If not, get the hell out. Dude.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering too. I'm also wondering how many of these people are gonna still buy the game anyway. How many frauds?
Let's be real here, dude. Like this shit looks fun as hell, dude. I love Ghost of Tsushima, dude. I'm ready for some more fucking samurai.
Realistically, if you're this upset, that means you care about the game. That means you care about it. Because if you didn't care about it, you would just be like, "Oh,
yeah."
Like Boyce was saying. Boyce said that in the group chat. He was like that they would probably just like not play it, but because they're so up in arms, it means they care. They care about the game, so like they might play it.
Yeah,
they might still play it anyway.
Yeah, they're gonna end up liking him on X and
dude, we're gonna see so many. We're gonna see like videos that like I was wrong about Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Oh my god, dude! I'm gonna you, dude. Jesus, Yoski's actually really deep.
That'd be so.
And if we're being honest, I mean, aside from Mirage, the last three games, of course, they're so lengthy, but they're pretty generally well received. I think maybe not like groundbreakingly received well, but just good enough.
Yeah. This is their time, man. Now they've learned enough from all three of them.
Especially because, like I said, I think I said this before, but like Ubisoft Quebec, they did Assassin's Creed. What's it called? Odyssey, and that was a contender for Game of the Year in 2018. So, like, they might. This could be even better.
Better than that, bigger. So we'll see, man. You got to see if they're gonna have the ships.
Dude, I could only imagine. I think this game winning Game of the Year would make people more mad than Last of Us 2 winning Game of the Year. Like, I doubt it will. I don't see Assassin's Creed winning a Game of the Year, but like that would be insane. I almost wanted to just because of the haters. just because.
Dude. Has it ever won?
No. I think it's, and I also think it's only been in the running once with Odyssey. I think, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't expect Assassin's Creed to ever win Game of the Year, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, that's just because of the Ubisoft curse, I think.
Yeah.
And so many people today, I think, are skeptical about upcoming releases in general, like the Silent Hill 2 remake. That's getting flack. There's Star Wars Outlaws, and I can't remember what else is coming out this year, but it's just the landscape of gaming. Everyone's critical. Everyone's basing off first impressions until the day one release.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, dude, I don't know. It still is crazy how 2023 is still huge, but I mean, this year's no joke either. You were getting Metal Gear Solid, Delta, freaking Assassin's Creed, Star Wars. It still is like a lot. And what's this game called? Shadow of the Ninja.
A Shadow of the Ninja.
It's like a remake. It's like, yeah, it's whatever. It's not. It makes me think about that other remake that we're talking about.
Yeah, man. If that's all we got on this Assassin's Creed.
I was gonna segue to LA Noire.
LA Noire. Okay, that's one of the last ones we got.
I feel like that was a perfect segue.
But we're sticking with Ubisoft, and we're talking about Watch Dogs.
Yeah, it's true, man.
Watch Dogs movie is I mean, the games are apparently done for, but the movie that's been announced. That's officially beginning filming. This movie is probably gonna be shit, but hey, what do you guys think about it?
Watch Dogs, I think Person of Interest, the old show on CBS, that's as close as you can get to a great Watch Dogs adaptation of the first game. And really, it seems like just based on the casting alone, they could be going for an original story set in the Watch Dogs universe, treating it as canon. But I don't like the odds. It just doesn't seem like it'll work.
Yeah.
Because, like... Oh, sorry. What were you going to say?
No, I was just going to agree with you. I don't think it'll work simply because video game adaptations are great, and I like that we're getting an uptick in better ones than usual. But I'm not like, as much as I love video games, I'm not a person who, like, I like video games and movies, but I'm not a person who thinks that every video game should be a movie or would translate well to that medium. And I feel like a part of what made Watch Dogs so interesting and so ambitious at the time was because it's a game, and the whole hacking and everything was just something that we hadn't really seen utilized before in a game the way it was. And I feel like you make a movie out of that, how can that really translate the same way? I feel like the only way it could work is if they really, really put a focus on hacking. And I don't see how they could really do that with it still being interesting, because at the end of the day, you're still watching it play out, you know? And I feel like there are only so many times we can watch somebody just like tap a couple buttons on their phone for it to be interesting. Because that's basically what they do in Watch Dogs. We don't know what the hell they're doing. They're just typing on their keyboards, and we don't know what they're doing. But this thing is, we're getting to play it. We're controlling what they're hacking. We're doing little puzzles and all that stuff. If you strip all that away, then it becomes way less interesting to me. So I'm just like, I just don't see like, yeah, you can have interesting stories, sure, but in terms of like what Watch Dogs is, it's about hacking. And I feel like if you can't make that part interesting, then yeah, it's kind of, I don't know, it's kind of DOA for me, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, it's kind of like just like, what's the point?
Yeah,
I think it's really funny because we were having I was texting you guys when I was like really getting into it about how I feel like it would really be a good story. Really, I really do think that the only way that this could possibly work is they see it as their opportunity to make a GTA movie that won't ever come out, you know? Because what's the biggest comparison to Watch Dogs? It's GTA, right? They would really have to nail the grungy nightlife, and honestly, because that's what I thought of. I thought of like Travis Bickle, right? Or like what's it called? What's the movie called? Taxi Driver, vibes, because he doesn't seem like mentally stable. Mm-hmm. He seems really out of it, but he's really good with guns, and like that's the whole point. Is like he's a hacker, but he's like a soldier, and it's so dark too, dude. He caused the death of like his niece. It's like these are things that are like pretty strong topics to like cover. I was really surprised that Ubisoft did like child death is not something that they cover a lot of in video games, right? But they did it, man. We got this. I still don't know because I didn't finish it. If he's like from the military, I think he was in the military, right? PTSD. It's like I feel like he has that. He has like vibes of.
I don't think so.
I don't know. They could do something.
If they mention it, I missed it, but I don't think he was. Do you remember, Boyce?
I can't remember too well either.
They could add that.
I always just got the impression that he was a hacker, criminal, who was a semi-decent guy, and then because of the way his heist plans went out as retaliation, they just came after him, and his niece was in the back seat, and his family ended up being collateral damage. And then, like, what stood out to me, I remember in the cutscene, was he had on this normal clothing, not the main default garb. You see him wearing like the long coat and the baseball cap.
Mm-hmm.
I always just kind of saw it as like an ordinary guy with a set of skills, just taking them to the next level entirely. Sort of like the Punisher, but also not.
Yeah, that's kind of how I saw it.
But then again, that's just headcanon.
Yeah. Yeah, that's actually a really cool way of putting it too. But they just have to tackle like what it is, which is it is unique. If you forget that, honestly, A24 I think would do a great job with something like this. You know, I mean, Mr. Robot is that your perfect reference.
I've never watched that show, but I've heard it's really good.
Yeah, me too. I only hear good things.
It's kind of like the whole series. Of course, I'd probably bring him up way too much than I should, but David Fincher. It's like if you took some elements of Girl with the Dragon Tattoo plus Fight Club plus a bunch of other stuff, and you have like this dark media cocktail, even The Matrix to an extent, and it's just a 4-season psychological thriller / character drama, political thriller, everything. And it's mind-blowing.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like what the movie would have to do to be a success, because if you ask me, the characters in the games, they're OP, just overpowered people that I wouldn't want to see headline the movies entirely. Because hackers aren't just gun-toting people or anything. They're just like good at what they do. Computers, they speak a different language technically. And I think the main characters of the movie would have to be vulnerable, be like Rami Malek's character, or even be like Elizabeth Salander from Girl with the Dragon Tattoo. Because movies and gaming are a different medium, and movies characters have to be powerless at some point, and gaming, you're just an honest and overpowered person.
This is like the best opportunity to nerf a character, like they did to Joel on Last of Us. Like, just make it be like 5 dudes. And also the hacking, they needed like, because man, movies get such deservedly like they do hacking so cringe. They're like, I'm in server now, and then it's like they show some like 3D animation that's not accurate at all. I just hope that they do like.
That's what I'm saying. I feel like this movie, for it to work for me, it needs to like redefine hacking in like movies and stuff. It has to like make the hacking like intense and. Like,
I'm gonna walk out if he presses a button. He's like touches his phone and then the light stops working. Like, okay, let me leave.
He's like, I'm in. Like, bro.
Bro, you made that shit look so easy, dude. Like, that's my fear. Is like this is gonna be like this is an actor reading shit. Dude. I love how Batman, and I know I'm going back to Batman, like Christian, like in Batman Begins and stuff. Like he never feels like a genius. Like he's smart, but he's not like freaking the comic book version. He's like a god at everything. He's just like, no, I'm taking advantage of my assets and common sense to just get this done, you know? And I get that vibe from, what's his name, Aiden. He doesn't seem like, he seems really smart, but he's not like walking thesaurus out here, you know?
Yeah.
We gotta be realistic. He's not like plus 10 science and hack, being like on Fallout or some shit. Plus 100. Everything.
I remember leading up to the release of the first game, or shortly after, a lot of people were clamoring on that Tom Cruise should star in a Watch Dogs adaptation as Aiden.
Why?
That's sick. That's so lazy. Why? Because he's in Mission Impossible. Come on, man. Yeah.
Dude, I can't stand.
They're both similar.
I
They're
guess it was,
spies.
Oh man, I can't stand when people are just like,
I
"Oh,
think it
Tom
was
Cruise should play this person, this person." Like, why?
So lazy, dude. So lazy.
I, I think it was just when Aiden just really seemed like a kind of shallow level, he's literally me type guy. Uh, like
Yeah.
almost like the driver from Drive, or even Jack Reacher, who Tom Cruise
Yeah.
played
I
years
never think
back.
Tom Cruise does not play he plays charming guys, dude. He's not going to play some antisocial, like barely stays in touch with his sister. I just don't see it. He's too Tom Cruisey.
Yeah, and I like Tom
Ryan
Cruise. I
Gosling,
do. I just don't think he
that's,
needs to play
yeah,
everybody.
yeah, yeah. Especially not like this kind of character. This is like Robert Pattinson, Ryan Gosling,
Yeah,
But
I
honestly,
don't know.
they
I
just,
hate to say it, but Tom Cruise would take me out of it. Like I would just be like, I don't.
yeah, dude. He's way too friendly looking, dude.
Hey, Michael Fassbender. I mean, Aiden is part Irish anyway, I
Yeah,
think.
dude. Honestly, yeah, that movie, The Killer, that's a lot like this too. Like Watch Dogs.
Yeah.
Even he wears a hat. I'm pretty sure. I didn't finish it though. I thought it was okay.
Oh,
I
yeah, the
understood the
story.
gist of it. It's basically the whole point is that he's terrible at everything, right? That was like the point.
Oh, yeah, even that dark comedic aspect.
Yeah, like everything. Every time his monologue were always contradicting what he was actually doing,
Yeah, you
which is
fix it.
good. It's fine.
Yeah. And with Watch Dogs, I feel like, honestly, I think it's a hacking story at its heart, essentially,
Mm.
because I think a lot of the GTA comparisons came around because GTA 5 had came out in 2013, and Watch Dogs was being built up to be this next gen game changer, from the demos, the gameplay, the world of Chicago. And I
Mm.
don't want to say that it fell flat, but it fell below expectations.
Mm-hmm. They
And
definitely, yeah, they dropped the ball.
And I feel like if you could just treat it as a hacker story at heart that happens to be set in the open world, where just technology and everything is rampant and technology is the most powerful weapon in the game, then I think the movie, if it realizes that, it could have a saving grace to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, hey, dude, they already made Assassin's Creed movie, and they're in the same universe. We should say that they can't just move Watch Dogs to the future or sort of the future.
Dystopian watchdogs.
Yeah.
I swear, if they
Then we're
put
talking
some
like
Easter egg
Blade Runner.
that makes Watch Dogs and Assassin's Creed canonically like connected. I feel like that's the whole reason they're making.
Can you imagine that?
Just to connect the universes. That's
How,
literally.
how, how would you feel, Eric, if they remade the movie Assassin's Creed franchise and Watch Dogs cinematic universe?
That's fine. It's whatever. As long as it doesn't affect the games, it's whatever.
Don't be telling. I know. Don't lie
Well,
down here. Since
I
you
just,
you
dude, I
want to
just
watch live action
because
3, right?
wait a minute. I just remembered the movie is canon, right? To Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, the movie.
Oh man. Well, never mind.
Yeah.
That actually changes everything. I don't feel like I don't want them to do too much. I don't want them to do too much. They like put some.
It has to be original story.
They're gonna have you hack into Abstergo in the movie or something. I know they'd do some dumb shit.
Yeah, I'm sorry he's gonna be the main villains, dude. They're gonna be the main villains, dude.
They said screw Bloom. It's Abstergo.
Yeah, dude. Honestly, I feel like I hate to say it to you, I think that they're gonna remake the first games, but I don't think they're gonna do original. They might, but I don't know. I just feel like it's harder. That's such a good story right there. I don't know.
It is really good. Which kind of makes you go, like, I like Watch Dogs 2, and I enjoy Legion, but it kind of makes you look down on those entries, right? Like, at least for me, I'm just kind of like, dang, dude. Watch Dogs 1 just had something going. Different. It was really special.
Yeah, it's just wait and see, man.
Like Watch Dogs, it has the ability to take on like so many tones and whatnot. Like whether it be the gritty crime thriller or whether it be like the rebellious type sequel making fun of the Silicon Valley culture. I think that like if the film can realize that it doesn't have to be stricken to like beholden to one entire tone. I mean, of course, it would probably even be. Well, I mean, it would make sense for them to just go with one tone, for tonal consistency. But of course, I don't think they would go with the first Watch Dogs as prime inspiration tonally. Probably just the second game to really bring in that commercial audience.
True. It's hard to say though. I don't know why. I just imagine them going for like a more darker tone, but this could really go anywhere.
Yeah, they have an opportunity here. There's always an opportunity, but fingers crossed that it's something like really unique. Maybe they go Fallout route and add a lot of satire.
Yeah, that I feel like that's the main key that this movie it's got to be unique in some way. I feel like the game was.
$10 says it puts AI in the plot somehow.
True, because they probably would make it more modern.
Yeah, honestly, that sounds exciting. If they did that, that would be interesting.
Like the latest Mission Impossible did it having AI as an antagonist, and I mean, of course, it'd be riffing off that a little if they did it, but I'd be interested seeing how because of it being 10 years.
We gotta watch it now.
Like because technology isn't what it is 10 years ago when the first game was released.
Very true.
I'm looking at an interview that they had for the guy that produced the game. He said it aims to be just more than another sandbox with cars, not just because of hacking elements, but because of how detailed and refined its gameplay and mechanics are and how comprehensive its features list is. Okay, so they really were trying to sell that part of the game. From hacking into everything you could think of to downloading apps. Yeah.
So,
they focus on the wrong thing, I think. That wasn't what they did. I do think there's some what's that?
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say 2012 Watch Dogs E3 demo is the best game that never came out.
We're in an alternate universe, man.
Yep, in that universe, it outdid GTA 5.
Jesus. In that universe,
that is crazy.
We're already playing GTA 6.
I know, right? We're waiting on that. We had a good time with the Trevor DLC in GTA 5, and we have GTA 6. This is scandalous. There are such liars, but this is PS5 graphics from this E3 demo. I totally understand. Well, the rain effects, man. That's like the one thing that games always suffer with is rain.
And the driving was so smooth. Like, it just looked incredible. It actually looked next gen for its time.
Bro, literally, the first comment has got 2.3 thousand likes. It's BG's channel. If you believe in other dimensions, and one of them gamers are playing this version of the game, I'm dead, bro. And this was posted 10 years ago. Oh my god. That's hilarious.
Like Watch Dogs 1 plus Sleeping Dogs, those are like, they have the best potential of being more than just GTA clones.
Mm-hmm.
Or
but they really needed to be that to they really needed to match that ambition, man, if they wanted to do that. They got this famous actress, I forgot her name. She plays one of what's the name? Ross's girlfriends.
Oh, Emma Stone.
Friends. No. Friends.
Jennifer Aniston, Courtney Cox, Lisa Kudrow.
No, Aisha Tyler. She was like a guest.
Oh yeah.
She hosts a lot, actually. I don't know if she's a gamer. I mean, yeah, she could be. She's
a lot in like different circles, like different games. She was even in Saints Row 2, I think, as Johnny Gat's girlfriend, but that might have been someone else.
I had no idea she was involved.
That's crazy. Yeah, dude, she has a whole freaking article about she's gaming as a kid, and she's saying how gaming can evolve. She's in the. I think it's funny, dude. I don't. It definitely wasn't 10 years ago, dude. She just did a recent one, right? Was it E3? She was at E3.
That's crazy.
I always love when they have celebrities. I thought that she was hilarious when Matthew McConaughey came in with like flip flops. He looked like such a dad. Like, his kid got him to do that shit. I don't know. I think so, dude.
Was he?
Yeah.
I mean, I wouldn't.
That was so out of nowhere.
He just looks like the type of dude that was always wear flip flops.
It was such a mess, dude. That whole gamer award was like the worst one, dude. It was such a mess.
Oh yeah, it was terrible.
They had like all these celebrities on here for
like
talking for 30 minutes. Honestly, it was the God Award
reveals for the Game Awards. I feel like he's like, oh, I want to make a E3, but we're gonna throw in some awards. Like, no, I think it should be about the awards and then throw in some reveals. Give people their time to shine, and then have some trailers every now and again. It doesn't have to be just a Summer Game Fest style show. We'll be all right.
He was talking about some game called Exodus. He wasn't even. I was like, I'm confused. Is Matthew McConaughey going to be in the game? Oh no, he's just talking about it.
That's the thing. Apparently, he is in the game. He just wasn't in that trailer. I don't know why. You would think they would, like, if you have Matthew McConaughey in the game, you would think you would want to show him off.
Yeah, dude. Do I get to play as him? Like, what the hell?
I don't
Starring Matthew McConaughey.
His character, he said that it's supposed to have a personal relationship with every player in the game.
Bro, what the? They're pulling the Keanu Reeves.
Yeah.
That was done very well, dude.
And I think in Destiny, Peter Dinklage, he was a companion in the first Destiny game, right?
He was so bad they had to replace him. Yeah.
Oh man.
You can tell he didn't give a fuck. He was like, I'm here for the paycheck and that alone. I don't have time for this, dude. I'm not a gamer. He's like, the hell do I play Destiny? Raw. Fuck out of here, dude. Halo for life.
And I'd read, I think, that the developers behind Exodus, they were based out of Texas, and what better way to endorse than Matthew McConaughey?
True.
Exactly, dude. Perfect. Dream come true. You get to play as Russ. I'm true to tell you. That's how I see him. I don't even think of like the actor. I just think of Russ.
It is so
Rust
hard
cool.
for me to. It is so hard for me to even like accept that that's McConaughey in True Detective, just because he looks like the antithesis to how he does in real life.
Yeah, dude. He's like a complete, just like loner type. Just very, very. Like, he's struggling a lot in that show. We'll just say that.
Like he doesn't smile much. He has a different hairstyle for each timeline, and just the personality, and he broods so well. Like, That's
some
yeah,
reclusive misanthrope that he is. And it's just funny because
exactly.
in real life, he's supposed to be uh, like a really heavy believer in faith, and Woody Harrelson isn't. And then the show is like the complete opposite.
And McConaughey, yeah, he was actually considered for Marty at first, Woody Harrelson's role.
I cannot see who was going to play him. That's why definitely not Woody Harrelson.
I could have seen that a little, but if
Maybe if he had the hair.
maybe yeah, like maybe someone like Christian Bale or something. But I think they wanted McConaughey for Marty just because he kind of gave off like that jock type, carefree, like a
Yeah,
family man attitude in real life.
I was gonna say like Image from Hunger Games. That's that yeah, Woody Harrelson could have done Rust like that. He kind of is like Rust, right? What's his name? Hatham? Image. That's his
Like,
name. And he's got the long hair too. That would have been interesting. I think they did
have you
that because. Oh, sorry. Yeah, go.
oh, sorry. I was going to ask Eric, have you seen True Detective yet?
No, never.
Yeah, dude, they say that only the first season is really like the only one really worth watching. I can't really say I disagree though.
How many seasons is it?
There's like 4 now, but they're all like one-offs.
Oh,
They're
okay.
like
So it's like
one-off
an
stories,
anthology
and the
series.
first one's it's very it's really high quality. It is very depressing, dark. So I don't know if that's something you're in the mood for,
Sounds
but
like
it's
a lot of stuff I
very
like.
yeah. What's the word I'm looking for? Voice is very not surreal, but it deals with like
It
life,
it's
like yeah,
kind of macabre, or I'm not sure if I'm saying that word right, but McCabe. It's atmospheric. It's
but it deals like death, dude. It deals with like heavy topics, and it doesn't really like hold back at all. Because like the whole point, like the main appeal of that character that Matthew McConaughey plays is like he doesn't value, he doesn't care, like he doesn't believe in God. He thinks that like his own words like we're a bunch of like zombies in the psychosphere. He talks like the like what the hell. And his partner Marty, who's Woody Harrelson's like really religious, but he's like the typical like Southern, like very hypocritical, and like he's the norm, and Russ is kind of like that cog that's not what he's saying is right, but his place in history is not, and it's not like it comes from a good place because he like lost his member like people, and there's a reason he's the way he is, and that's kind of the point. They start to see each other's points more, but mainly Marty does. He is really affected by him because like he's really anti-religion. It just makes you think about that.
Sounds like interesting
And
dynamics, man.
that's I know that's a lot. And then there's another thing too. There's this term. I don't know. No, I won't talk about it. All I'll say is like he really doesn't. He doesn't think that he thinks it's morally basically wrong to have children.
Oh, damn.
Yeah,
he's a nihilist.
anti-natalist. That's what the word is. And a nihilist. Yeah, very cynical. Honestly, dude, if you like LA, like it's a lot like LA Noir too. Like when you're driving to the cases and they're talking, there's a lot of
Mm-hmm.
those scenes where they're just talking in the car, and they're
Oh,
like really
oh
they're
yeah.
like best friends in real life.
This
Dude.
sounds like something
So
I'd be into if I'm being honest.
their chemistry's so good because they're best friends. You can tell in the show they're like friends. It's like watching two people that are like not friends in the show, but in real life, and you can just tell. It just
Yeah.
feels really funny. Some of the conversations are really funny.
No, I'll have to check it out. Sounds pretty interesting, actually. I've never known much about True Detective or what it was about, but you definitely sold me on it.
Yeah.
And I'd even say the first three seasons are, well, I mean, the first season is top tier. The seasons, the following after, they're good. I mean, in my opinion. And season four, the recent one, I wasn't that impressed with, but it's just different strokes with me.
Yeah. And the guy that wrote that, he made the last one. He directed the final one.
Oh yeah, Cary Fukunaga.
Yeah. So he's done a lot of pretty
He
big things.
directed what?
No Time to Die, like the Craig's last Bond movie.
Yeah, Bond
movie.
Yeah, all this talk of True Detective.
See,
you want to talk about L.A. Noire?
Sure.
Yeah.
Boyce, you sent this in the chat. I don't know much about this. Just the rumored headline here on Reddit is the original L.A. Noire creators are working on Sowden House, a psychological thriller set in 1940s L.A. I don't know much about this, but
yes,
what's the deal with this?
So the Sowden House, it's actually based on what I've read. It's based on something that actually happened because the Sowden House is actually a real thing in LA. It was a residence built in 1926, and sorry, I'm just quoting from Wikipedia, trying to get to the root of what it was. But it involved the Black Dahlia killings based on what I'm reading right now. And
whoa.
Yeah, the house was owned by Dr. George Hodel, an LA physician who was a prime suspect in the Black Dahlia murders. And
Wow.
it was, and the Black Dahlia was, it kind of shares like that same thematic sphere as LA Noire, like the early crime noir. And I can't remember if Black Dahlia was part of it or not, just because I haven't played the game in over 10 years. And the game is rumored to be set through 1945 through 1950, and potentially set in the John Sowden house through its entirety. And it's a psychological thriller at that.
Wow. That
And
crazy.
this isn't.
Yeah, that sounds really.
And this actually isn't even the first time that there's been rumors of a follow up or even a spiritual successor to LA Noire, because, and this title, I'm not sure could even fly today, what they were working on, but there was footage of, I think it was from Team Bondi, the ones who actually developed it while Rockstar helped distribute and publish. It was called The Whore of the Orient. And of course, that title wouldn't fly nowadays, but it was essentially going to be a crime noir similar to LA Noire. And I assume potentially have like those same mechanics and whatnot. And based on what I had read in a comment last night, Whore of the Orient was said to be a slang term for Shanghai. So it definitely would have had like that same crime noir aesthetic that you find in films like Chinatown or Maltese Falcon or similar to LA Noire.
It sounds really cool.
Yeah.
Where'd this rumor come
Yeah,
from?
dude,
I don't actually know. Like,
see, this rumor came from, I think it was a musician that had posted on social media, and they were working on music for a project, and then I can't remember if they said it or not, but then it came about that it was for an LA Noire successor or follow up.
yeah, so I can only imagine this is going to be separate from Rockstar. I'm assuming the people who made that game they moved on.
Yeah. And it's funny because of today, the way the psychological thrillers that are based on true crime accounts, they can be pretty sensitive in some ways. Like, for instance, thinking back to the Dahmer series on Netflix, and how several family members of the victims had just spoken out against the show for potentially glamorizing a killer.
Mm-hmm.
But then again, I don't think Sowden House would even have that problem. Well, not similarly, because presumably you'd be playing as an investigator if they follow up LA Noire. But I think even then, like, just making a game out of true accounts that some people could view as entertainment, maybe it could come out the wrong way.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, I don't know. I think that it's true. I mean, I haven't seen that series, but I've seen clips of it, and some of it's good. But yeah, it's always a valid concern. I think LA Noir did a good job. I think they had the best approach to these kind of things. Is never with any kind of just presented as like factual, and that's kind of it. Let us derive our thoughts. But I think it's still really exciting. I think more games like this need to come out. It's been so long and no sequel. So it's like, yeah, it's about time someone realized this is a great I can literally only think of one, and it's so random. I don't know if you guys heard, it's called Judgment. It's like a Yakuza spinoff.
Mm-hmm.
You're like an investigator.
Talking about that the other day.
I have that downloaded, and I'm like, I'm getting ready to play it, and it's crazy to think that there's not a lot of games like that. There's old ones like fixed camera ones that are in like point and click, but I mean, you don't really want to play that, It's interesting, but this is more of our speed, man.
Yeah, like even Heavy Rain, that was around the same time as LA Noire, maybe a year before.
Yep. That was very noir inspired.
Yeah, I've always
and I get it because these kind of games.
My bad.
Yeah, no, you're good.
I think we're heading in the same direction of what we're saying with like we're finding it interesting that these types of games like just aren't a thing anymore.
Yeah. And I was going to add to that they're very much. I understand why there's hesitancy, because I remember a good, not criticism, but it's a thing about LA Noire is that it's not very replayable. After you beat it, you're kind of done with it. And
fair.
I do understand that. I'm like, I don't know why though. They could have made side missions, like side cases or something, but I don't know. That might be valid criticism. How long is the game?
I've never
beat
it myself, to be honest. So.
I think it was maybe around 10 or 12 hours, and
really?
I know later on after release they added on some extra DLC cases.
That makes you feel like
not the whole bunch.
Piece of garbage for not beating it. I've never been able to finish that game. It's not that long.
They say it's like 25 hours now.
Oh, really?
I don't know how much of that's driving though. There was a lot of driving.
And well-acted cutscenes too.
Also took a while.
You wouldn't be able to remake
doing the interrogations because I was like really trying to like go through and make sure I had everything together. I feel like I would overthink.
That's one thing they could remake. We have like what do they call the dots we put on people's faces now? So they grab the facial recognition, the facial animation. The mocap's gonna be so much better. And like, yeah, dude, honestly, they have to make a sequel because you can't remake this because the cases are like part of it is like that's the whole point of it, the whole fun. Right. So it's like you already know the solutions and shit.
I think the closest today that's come to like, of course, not like with the same play style, but I think Disco Elysium has come close to, at least on the detective front, bringing about that kind of mystery and intrigue.
and that's another one I just finished downloading. I'm like, you know what? I need to finish. I need to get back to playing this because it's always in that top like 10 list or top 5 list. People always mention it.
Yeah, you guys talked about that one before. I haven't played it.
So it's got a whole bunch of dialogue. I mean, so many pages of dialogue.
Yeah,
whether it be from
you're reading a lot.
But the choices are interesting, and it really delves into so many societal topics or theories and concepts of like communism and whatnot. And it's such a great deep dive. It's like you're playing a novel.
Yeah, and that definitely has its place, when I'm in a mood for it. And I think I'm kind of coming up on that vibe. I just want a rich story. So I'm still waiting on Baldur's Gate 3 to like pull a trigger on what's on sale, but that's my main appeal to that. Is I keep hearing there's so much choice. So many different relationships you can form. And I just really think that's interesting to me, man. Like it's like The Sims, but with a heavy story to it.
Yeah, that's a good way to describe it.
Yeah. And I heard they were making like a Sims game, and it got canceled. It's like a competitor.
Oh, I don't even know what could compete with Sims.
Yeah, I don't even know when the last Sims they made, dude. Honestly, it feels like it's been a really long time.
It has. I don't know.
Sims
When it came
5,
out. I just
dude.
know it was a long time.
Did you ever play them?
Sims?
Yeah.
Back in the day. Like on
Yeah,
PC.
my brother did.
And PlayStation 2. I
wonder if I
had a PlayStation 2.
What about you, boys? You play Sims?
Yeah, I played Sims 2 on PSP and the
They have it on
Herbs,
PSP?
which was Sims in the City. Yeah, it wasn't as fun though.
Yeah.
And I remember Herbs, Sims in the City on PS2, and then I got Sims 3, and I think I have Sims 4 on the PlayStation digitally. It's just they're fun, but in order to be have real fun on them, you have to buy so many expansion packs. Like for instance,
Yeah.
they have the Star Wars skins and outfits and medieval, and that's a whole lot of money to invest into a life simulation when real life is going on.
I know, right?
That's so true.
That's my main like games, dude. It's like you end up like the life you want is in the Sims.
Yeah. Yeah, the most I did with this newest Sims 4, is I just made my character and then that was it. I didn't do anything after that.
You made your ideal family, and then you were like, okay. Time to get this in real life, dude. That's what I'm thinking. No. If I play Sims, I'm playing like psychopath, dude. I'm like making them kill each other and like cheat on each other, dude.
Go
That's what makes
crazy.
it fun, dude.
Craziest stuff happens in that game.
Just throw a wrench and all that shit, dude. Yeah, just for entertainment.
When I played it, I just remember I'd always make my character into a spy or a reporter or something, and just my characters would never. Well, sometimes they would maybe be based off me, but then other times they would just be like, for instance, I remember one character I named him Vito Auditore, and I made him a criminal mastermind.
My God. That's pretty great. I feel like playing this now, dude.
Mafia 4. He made Mafia 4 in Sims.
Yeah. I'm out here thinking about what I would. Yeah.
Just imagine like a crime game, like something like GTA meets Sims.
Mm-hmm.
like you have these organized crime structures, and you maybe even add in the nemesis system from Shadow of Mordor.
Mm-hmm.
During the day, you're a
In fact,
family man,
that's
and
what
then
I've
at
noticed.
night, you're organized crime.
Yeah,
Yep, be Tony Soprano.
yeah, dude.
Go to
There was
therapy
the
Thursday.
Sopranos game, dude. That's hilarious. Dude.
Sopranos Road to Respect. I never played that game, just saw the YouTube videos of it.
Like I've seen enough. Let me. No, they got a Godfather game. That's actually like much better, apparently.
Oh man, that game that was my
That
introduction
actually,
to Godfather. I played that game before I ever saw the movie. I loved it. That was like that. I always thought I was like GTA, but like back in the day. I thought that game was so cool when I was a kid.
You get to be like run the ranks until you're like there with Michael and them. I definitely want to play it when I see like clips of it. It looks really cool. There's that Scarface game too, dude. That's apparently really
Yeah,
good. The
that was
world is
fun.
yours. I don't know if you. Cool.
yeah.
That's how the. That's how I like to think the movie ended.
In fact, the Godfather 2 video game, I think that's pretty close to what I'm wishing for.
Yeah. Yeah, dude. You get to there's like a property system, right? Like a management system where you manage all your empire. That's
Yeah.
what that's what GTA 5 should have had, dude. Not the real estate.
In GTA 5, the criminal characters, they didn't actually feel a whole lot like criminals to me, not in the way that Nico did.
You think they're a lot more cartoony?
A little bit, yeah, like,
I can agree
because
with that.
after playing it for a few years, it felt more like I was playing a realistic, crime centric Family Guy. Whereas with GTA 4, it's like I'm playing a kind of Scorsese film in the vein of The Departed or even The Sopranos.
Mm-hmm. I do. I would have gone a step further and said like Mean Streets.
That's a good one.
Yeah, it really captured the vibe of like a just grungy ass like nightlife and just like get off the road. You don't want to be out here at night.
That even makes me wonder, just in both of your opinions, what do you think makes a great crime game?
That's I
That's a
think
good
about that.
question.
Yeah.
Because, I mean,
Personally,
GTA 5 sometimes. Oh, sorry.
no. What were we gonna say?
Oh, I was going to say that sometimes, like when I talk about GTA 5 to everyone else, or even GTA 5 back when it came out, like so many people forget the fact that it's a crime story at heart.
Yeah, I personally
What
think.
do you mean? Like,
What were you going to say, Eric?
I was.
I was gonna ask you.
Yeah, Eric was asking what you meant by that.
Oh, I kind of mean like crime. Like, I mean, crime genre is probably my favorite across all media. Like, that question of morality, the character study, the like uh, I guess really the fact that it could actually happen, like it's so grounded in reality, like that it's a crime story at heart. You're seeing bad people do bad things, or even good people doing bad things for the bad reasons. Like, I guess really crime story at heart. Like, there's got to be some kind of judgment in play, like some kind of risk and reward. And with GTA 5, of course, it's a crime story, but I just never really felt like the characters were actually in danger unless you chose one of Franklin's two other options aside from saving all of them.
Yeah, I think that's when that's where they fumbled it the most.
Yeah, what I was gonna say to answer your question, I think like humanity or like stakes, if that makes sense. It's kind of like you think of a character like Trevor. I think why Trevor doesn't really gel with a lot of people, is because like Trevor's just kind of he's like, oh, I'm a criminal, I'm a killer, I blah 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 blah. He like he doesn't get he really like he cares about people, of course. Yeah, he cares about Michael. He cares about his family. He cares about Patricia or whatever. Like clearly he shows that he cares about people, but at the same time, it's like at the end of the day, Trevor is just kind of if something happened to Trevor, it wouldn't change anything for anybody really. And I think what's important in crime stories is to have those stakes where it's like, oh, someone has a family that they care for, or if they get pinched or they get killed, that like someone lost something, or like I don't know, there has to be stakes in it. There has to be like, oh, we cannot get caught, or we can like that one. That's part of what will make like heists like so. Like you think of like a caper movie, right? Where it's like you like one I'm thinking of right now is like Asphalt Jungle, right? Where it's like you have this group of people pulling off this heist, and one of them has like a family, right? He's like you're like, oh, they have to pull this off because like this guy has a family, he has a wife and kid, and stuff like that. It's like you want them and need them to like be able to succeed in this life, even though it's questionable morally. You still don't want to see them get caught. So it's like I think for that there has to be like stakes. There has to be that level of like these people have something to lose in order to make it interesting for me personally, story wise, if that's what we're talking. But yeah, that's I don't know if I just like explained that well, but that's my answer.
Pretty thorough.
Yeah, I think that was very well said. I think there's definitely something to be said for consequences.
Yeah, that pretty much boils it down to like one word, like consequences.
Especially after when Michael just saved his family from potentially getting executed, only to be teabagged by his son.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I forgot that scene, dude.
And that too.
There's a lot of really fun.
The thing is, if they would have given, rather than having everybody in the DeSanta family be just like dysfunctional as I don't know what, like actually give Michael like a good relationship with his wife and like his kids, or maybe they're like maybe it's not the best relationship, but you want them to fix it, but instead everyone's just dislikable and dysfunctional in that family, so you don't care. It's stuff like that. Like if we would have cared about Michael's family and stuff like that, sort of like how we care about Jack and Abigail in Red Dead Redemption, like stuff like that. There needs to be that level of like this character has something that they could lose. They have something they care about. They have the family that they want to provide for. That to me makes the crime stories way more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, relate with it.
Yeah, LA Noire, even like it has that. Even if you're on the opposite side of the law, like it still like comes in on that stake and that personal aspect to his life. Like even if it takes the procedural form in its mission structure.
Yeah. And then how he jeopardizes all that. But no, I definitely feel like GTA 5. Just thinking about, I completely forgot about that scene, like with the teabag, and it's really funny. I think GTA 5 is just the best with the humor, or not the best with the humor, but it was like mainly focused with being a comedy more than anything. I think they would never have a scene like that with GTA 4.
Right.
And probably my favorite missions in GTA 5 were like early in the beginning, like the Franklin missions, and when that guy who just got out of jail, the OG, when you're doing missions with him, like that was the stuff that really I was interested in. and then he just comes back as a target you have to kill like near the end of the game.
Yeah.
Wait, which character?
Stretch, you're talking about?
I can't. Yeah, that's the one.
Oh man, I remember that was yeah. There's so much that I forgot playing that game, man.
But yeah,
Like I
it's
wouldn't have even
undeniable that it
mind.
really is like a great game. It's just in terms of like GTA, I feel like it is one of the weaker ones in terms of like I don't know what it is
Yeah,
about that game that just kind of when you think about it in relation to the other GTA games, something about it that just doesn't quite hit the same.
yeah. I mean, if you look at like the first initial trailers, it was a lot more upbeat with five, and like it's still awesome, and the music was great, and you're just like, wow, I'm gonna get to explore the city. In GTA 6, for whatever reason, I feel like a really dark vibe from that trailer. It just felt very serious
Mm-hmm.
in like a really good way. But I feel like it was like we learned our lesson, or not. We're not gonna we're gonna go all out with the story because we really realize that's what people want from Rockstar.
Mhm.
If I'm being
So
completely
that's what
honest,
I'm
sometimes
excited
I
about.
think about it and I think that Trevor kind of throws a wrench in that game's story a little bit.
Yeah,
Like
me
I
too.
really like
That's
that
what I was
aspect of
thinking.
like the retired bank robber taking like Franklin under his wing and like like I think that part of the story was really interesting. I feel like they were setting up something really cool, but then you bring in Trevor and it just kind of like I don't know like
It
I
doesn't
don't
really
know. Like not to say you had to completely
like
omit Trevor, but maybe if Trevor played a small like if Trevor played like a smaller role or like he wasn't playable and it was really like a Franklin and Michael story and then Trevor just kind of played a role in that. I don't know. I think like having Trevor there like kind of is what threw the dynamic off a little bit for me at least.
yeah. I feel like if they were gonna have him be play, they should have went all out with like what his character actually is, which is what a psycho. And near the end, you start losing control of playing as him, and they start talking that there's building tension, but it's all leading to not the agents or the FBI. The main threat is Trevor. We need to take care of him.
Mm.
That would have been a lot more powerful to me, and also make him scary because he was kind of scary. Let's be real here, dude. He's a
Oh
scary guy.
oh
Like he's
yeah.
not. And like sometimes if like you're walking around, then you'll see him and he'll try to stalk you and get you somewhere isolated to attack you. Look at me coming up with concepts where that would have been crazy to me, man.
Oh yeah, then I mean, you have the option as him to just take strangers up to a
Oh
weird
yeah, altruist
cannibal cult.
cult or whatever. Yeah, that's weird.
Maybe it's time that for a GTA 5 replay, man. Is that what we're doing? Right before GTA 6. That's what it's. We're gonna have GTA week and play all the GTAs.
Probably real time discussion.
Yeah,
Yeah, dude. GTA 1, 2, 3.
yeah.
You guys want to hit up these Capcom topics?
Yeah, we can do it.
Sure.
All right, we'll probably rapid fire the first couple, but there's Dino Crisis, the 25th anniversary just passed, and Capcom tweeted out bloody dinosaur foot, and everyone thought it was gonna be like some sort of remake or something, but alas, no, still no word on that. So Capcom basically pranked us.
Yeah. The trolls rule.
I'm excited at the prospect of a remake of this game because I've never played it, but the concept to me seems really cool. So I would love to be able to play a remake of it.
Yeah, definitely. We have to wait for them to figure out how to make dinosaurs like easy to kill or something. I don't know.
I haven't played it either, but it being one of the games that directed by Shinji Mikami, who also did Resident Evil, the original, and the first Evil Within, like that feels like it should be like a top priority to get a remake, get some more people involved and interested.
And they know people want it. I feel like they are working on something. That's why they're like being dicks. But yeah. I don't know. I feel like they're definitely working on something.
So, and I know I'm going to sound so terrible for this, but I've never actually been able to get into dinosaurs as a concept. I mean, I watched the first Jurassic Park in class, but I never just took to it. I mean, I just was never interested in dinosaurs. But if you put that in the scope of something like Resident Evil, then you might have my attention.
To be fair, I think if you can't get into the first Jurassic Park, then that whole series just isn't for you. And I would say you aren't missing much either, because there aren't very many that are actually good in that series. Even though I enjoy most of them personally, I can definitely, like, in terms of like the sequels, they're all pretty much dips in quality in comparison to the first movie.
Yeah.
But I used to love dinosaurs. I used to like be obsessed with like that show Dino Dan on like Nick Jr. and like I like the Jurassic movies. I don't know. I just like learning all about them and like what they did and what periods they lived in. I feel like everybody had like a dinosaur phase at one point, but yeah.
Dude, I think you really like that show called Dinosaurs, dude. With the
puppets? Funny enough, I didn't watch that show. I didn't watch it.
I think it's aged better. I'm pretty sure that was like made really for adults in mind. There's like the very famous puppeteer guy.
Yeah.
I remember A Land Before Time.
Oh, yeah, that I haven't seen that in ages though.
That would do something to me rewatching that.
That movie, The Good Dinosaur, that Pixar movie, that movie made me cry.
The Good Dinosaur, I heard that movie was really strong.
Yeah, that was great.
I just learned like a few months ago that 2K is confirmed to be making a remake of the game. So, and they're using a lot of thumbnails of BioShock 1, so I don't know. But that's not what we're talking about. I just wanted to throw that out there.
So it's not confirmed what they're working on, it's just something.
They are making a remake. 2K Games is making a remake. So a lot of people want the Darkness 1 or BioShock.
Hey, at least we know we're getting something.
The Darkness 1, that would be such a dark horse pick, but I'd love that.
Yeah. I have yet to finish the game or like try it, but I've seen a lot on YouTube. The song they used is basically what's it called? What's the name of that guy? Parker Burwell. I really like the soundtracks he makes.
Yeah, if that's all we've got for Dino Crisis, you guys want to talk about Dr. Doctor, as Boyce called it.
Yep.
So Dead Rising
that Vince Vaughn should have
started a remake or a remaster remake. I don't know. It's from the ground up, right?
Yeah. Yeah, new graphics, new character models.
That's pretty exciting. As someone who's never played it, it looks good, looks cool, and I've heard they're adding like a few quality of life improvements while retaining mostly the same kind of gameplay, so it'll still feel, like the same game. Sounds like best of both worlds, and I feel like I'd be into it as someone who's like a huge zombie fan and has never played Dead Rising. So, yeah, what do you guys think of this as people? Because you guys are fans of Dead Rising, right?
I never played one, but I want to.
Oh, yeah.
I never had an Xbox, so if it's really good, I'll try it out.
I dabbled a little bit. And I think after Days Gone, I'm definitely in the mood for more zombie hordes.
Oh
Yeah. And I've heard that while it's kind of comedic, there's like the story, like Frank is a really good character.
Yeah, I've heard Frank West is iconic.
Yeah, so that's there's not a lot of reason to say no to this game for me, man.
Yeah.
And it's a Resident Evil engine too, so.
And yeah, I remember because like Frank is such a iconic character. They even brought him back to do an alternate take on Dead Rising 2 called I don't remember what it was called, but it swapped out Chuck, who was the main character in the original Dead Rising 2, and they put Frank in instead for this new version. And then they even bring Frank back again for Dead Rising 4. And I
Oh
can't
God.
remember if there was a fifth one, but if there was, they brought him back for that one too.
That's crazy. Who was the guy in 3?
3, I think he was a biker type character. It was when they had released it as a launch title for the Xbox One.
Yeah, I remember that.
But
'Cause I
I've
remember
never
watching a
even
little bit
caught
of
on
it.
to it.
And I just remember being like, this game looks absolutely
That's
ridiculous.
Yeah, for the malls. That shit looks scary. The Left 4 Dead was scary, dude. Honestly, zombies too scary me, and I don't really think a lot about them.
When I was a kid, I used to be like terrified of a zombie
I think
apocalypse actually happening.
That is crazy how they did that. They did, yeah, they replaced him. So they really didn't like him, or was he just like, or Frank was just that good?
Yeah, and Dead Rising 2, I remember getting high praise from Game Informer as a kid when it had come out in the magazine. But I think people just really, really wanted Frank back. They wanted that connective tissue.
I definitely got to play this game, see what this guy is all about. Because I've always heard about Frank West, even before I really knew what the heck Dead Rising was. I knew about Frank West.
And he's even in Marvel versus Capcom too, right?
Wouldn't surprise me.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is.
And I think
But Dead
part
Rising
of what
3.
makes... Oh, what did you say, Eric?
I'm looking at Dead Rising 3 because there's not a lot of people mentioning that one.
I think what even makes Dead Rising work so well is that it's such a good alternative to Resident Evil, where we have that kind of occasional melodrama with the gunplay and the serious intensity. Dead Rising is like that relaxing feel. It's more fun. It's more energetic. It's like widespread and creative.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you
really
can
seems like a
definitely
lot of fun.
see. Yeah,
It's like I feel like if you were in this type of setting in like a Resident Evil game, you would just be stressed out. Whereas with this game, it's like, yo, have fun with this.
over, dude. You lost. Yeah, we're all dead in that universe. Good Lord, just thinking of like how they said Resident Evil 9 will be open world, and just thinking about those like having hordes of those kind of zombies coming after you did, I would just be like, we're so close.
Speaking of Resident
Open
Evil
world
9,
Resident Evil that...
oh, what were we saying, boys?
Yes, Resident Evil 9, man.
Oh, I was just gonna say Resident Evil 9. That's I mean, I wouldn't be mad if it was open world. I would just wonder how they would pull it off.
Yeah,
I don't know. It looks like they're wondering too.
but me personally, I what kind of puts my mind at ease a little bit is the news of the director of Resident Evil 7 also directing Resident Evil 9. I mean, mind you, we could still go the open world route, but with this guy, I don't know. It just seems like that'd be an odd choice for him. But I mean, who knows?
Yeah, the worst thing that could happen is we get Far Cry, like a Far Cry game clone.
You think that's the worst? I think it go.
I didn't know it would be bad because even worse. What are you thinking? What are your mind here?
I don't know. I genuinely don't think that an open world Resident Evil will be that terrible, but it's definitely not something that I would prefer at all. And I feel like if they did go open world, it would have to be small. It would have to be like borderline hub world. Like I don't think full blown big massive open world would work at all.
Yeah.
Like not one bit.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. But it really is about survival. Like there's not a lot that we can pull from besides Dying Light for first person zombie games.
True. Yeah.
And that's very clearly knows what it's doing there. It's a parkour, game. And Days Gone is like, I don't know, kind of like you're an action hero on that one too.
Yeah, it's hard to say where this guy could go because, like, I don't know if we're continuing with like Winters, if we're gonna be playing as Rose, or if we're bringing back older people. Like, I would love to see Leon again, Jill. Like I don't know. It's really hard to say where the heck the Resident Evil story is going at this point. Like seriously, it's like they could do anything. Like I don't know. It's hard. It's a hard series to predict at this point. So, and it always kind of has been.
Yeah.
So like, I'm just intrigued to see what he does. Considering I do like Resident Evil 7, even though I have gone on record saying I like Village more. I do like 7 a lot as well. Like both those games.
It does make sense because Resident Evil 4 has those drive or boat sections where you kind of have free reign to explore. So we can already see how they've been testing the water.
Yeah, I'm hoping it'll be maybe something like that, where maybe this whole thing is just a little bit exaggerated, and maybe it'll just be a Resident Evil game that's more open than normal. Because even think about Resident Evil Village. Resident Evil Village was borderline open. Like the village kind of served as like a hub almost, but even that's was kind of borderline open world. So like I'm thinking maybe like they might be exaggerating, and it's gonna be something along those lines, and not actually like a big mess, like you're running around Raccoon City or something. Like I don't know.
Right.
Yeah, I don't know. It really is intriguing to see. Almost like how are you going to do the ammo? Sort of like I don't know. Hopefully, you're able to run fast because I feel like the Village and 7 were kind of slow throughout the whole game. That's fine, but I don't know. It's kind of I guess that's kind of. I mean, we're assuming it's going to be first person. Might not even be. It might be like 2. Probably not.
Yeah, it could be first person, it could be third person. Like I said, I have no idea. I'm not expecting another first person game, if I'm being honest. But if they continue down that route, I won't be mad. I'm just kind of at this point, whatever they give us with Resident Evil, I'll accept. I'll take it. I don't really care.
Yep.
Unless they just do
they do
like a complete like reset of like the timeline or something, I would be a little bit like, I don't know. I don't know how I feel about that, but. If they keep with these continuations, I'm here. I'm here for it.
If Chris dies, if Leon dies, we ride. That's it. If Jill dies, we ride. If any of the OGs are like
of the OGs
killed off, I mean they could die too. That would be crazy if they did. But if they did, they can't be going that like Joel. You got too much time with these guys.
I think it's so funny that they really tried to they tried to make us think that Chris was like going rogue or something. That's hilarious.
Oh yeah, they just had a murder somebody right in cold blood right in front of you. Yeah. I was ready to believe that shit. I was ready for Chris to go bad. Dude. Chris is always like gets flack for being the goody, like Captain America goody two shoes of the games. Like, nah, dude, this dude is a bad motherfucker, dude. He's a bad mofo, dude. He's punching boulders and shit. I'm ready to see him break that. He looked clean as hell, too.
I also love that is like canon that he punched that boulder. I don't know how it is, but it's
dude. He's like, that guy punched. I'm sure they're gonna say, yo, he had some magic, like some power in him, like from the zombie bite or something.
I don't know.
Dude, remember in 7 he looked like fucking like some random like extra. They completely redid his face.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he
like,
looks
who the
so
hell is
bad.
this?
I didn't
dude?
like the way he looked
Bro,
at all.
Dude, he looks so bad that the leakers were saying, "Yo, it's Chris's son, dude. It's Chris's brother."
The Redfield bloodline
was hilarious.
He continued the bloodline.
Yeah, dude, exactly. Dude, that's why that I don't know if that's like a mistake they made, but I actually love how they're all like they're aging with us, dude. They're all like in their 50s now.
Yeah, they're getting up there.
Oh yeah, because
I would love to see
the
Sheva
original
again in 4K.
Sheva was she was bad. Yeah, we need Sheva. Yeah, that was really cool. You know, people I get why people are like, I want Kristen Jill because that's the OG, but I think she was a really good. I think a lot of people agree. I feel like on YouTube now, people are like, yo, Sheva was underrated.
Yeah, she's great.
I understand people hate about 5 that see the 4 should go, but it's I gotta play that game. Actually, I want to play 5. I need to finish that game because I liked it a lot.
Would any of you ever want to see Jake again from Resident Evil 6?
I don't even remember who that person is.
I know a lot of people don't like Resident Evil 6 in general. I will say I really liked.
Why are you missing irrelevance?
I really liked Jake and Sherry's campaign. Yeah. That was like one of my favorite parts of Resident Evil 6.
That's Wexler's son, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the idea, like the Resident Evil 2s. Oh yeah, that's right. The freaking this dude Troy Baker's everywhere, man. I don't know if he needed to voice.
I also just thought it was great seeing Sherry again. I don't know. I liked Resident Evil 6. I ain't gonna lie.
I like Sherry. I didn't even finish it. I got bored.
I can understand that. Like, I think once you've played it once, it's kind of hard to go back to. But like my first playthrough, I had a decent amount of fun playing it. But like to be fair, I played it. I binged the series. Like, if I can understand like it coming out and someone playing it day one, like on its own, I can see what that would be like. Yeah. But like, I feel like if you play it with the other games, I feel like it kind of enhances the experience. Because you're kind of fresh off of
it. It controlled really well. Yeah. I can't lie about the fact that it controlled very cleanly. Yeah. I just think it's the age-old criticism that...
Weird. The inventory system was very weird in that game, but...
Yeah. I just think it didn't know what it wanted to be in the end. Like, its identity was just... Yeah. It was just too mobile. And it's very ambitious to have that many playable characters.
Oh yeah, the fact that they had to split up into different, 4 different campaigns.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like Chris is straight up Call of Duty, the Call of Duty campaign. Yeah, I love that.
But what I would love to see from Resident Evil 9 is like that same kind of contained atmosphere, but also kind of want to see Leon back again, just another fan favorite, because
what's up with all this Chris loving?
Like, he hasn't even been seen since Resident Evil 6, and because of the real-time aging, I want to see what a more mature, more 40-ish or 50-ish Leon Kennedy would be like today.
Yeah, I think that would be really cool.
He has the same hair.
You can definitely tell even with 2 and 4, there's a difference in the remakes too. Like his attitude, he's like, I'm done with this shit. And 4, he's closer to the Leon we know and love.
Ada finally came to her senses, and they settled down together.
Nah, dude, Leon came to his senses. He was like, I'm done with this shit. She's always gonna be running off. He's gonna go with Jill. No, not Jill. What's her name? Claire. I'm a simp. I like the old school traditional relationships. The one that was there, Claire.
You guys see that latest Resident Evil movie, the animated one?
I saw the trailers for it. I wanted to watch it.
I didn't see
when they all finally meet.
Yeah.
Jill and Leon finally meet. That's like a big thing. Yeah.
Oh, is that the one with all the gun fu?
Mm-hmm. The
No,
animated
that's
movies have
another
a lot
one,
of
but
that.
it's part. Dude, yeah. If you look at that clip of Leon and Chris fighting zombies,
Dude,
that shit is like
that scene
gold.
single-handedly
It was
made me want to watch
awesome.
that movie. That's the reason I watched that movie, is because of that
Yeah,
scene. I just wanted to get to that part.
I don't care about the ratings. Yeah,
That
good,
scene is
good. Yeah, have
crazy.
you seen that voice? That shit is insane, dude.
Oh no, I haven't seen any of the animated ones.
Oh
Just look at the
man,
clip on
you
YouTube,
gotta
and it does
gotta
such a
check
great
that
job of
out.
like highlighting the difference. Like Leon's faster and Chris is brute force.
Though
Chris and
I
Leon brute
will
zombies.
probably, I think I probably will check it out though, just because I keep hearing so much that the Netflix series was garbage. But
Yeah, I was
like,
Yeah,
really
and I wanted to
disappointed by
like
that.
that.
I was really disappointed by it. Like, I was in denial at first. I watched it. I was like, "That was good, right? That was good." I don't know. Then when I went online and saw people like talking about it, I was like, "Okay, I'm not the only one who didn't really vibe with it." Okay.
Yeah, yeah. You question it too much.
And I didn't even bother with
One question.
the one about Wesker or whatever. Like, rest in peace to I forget his name, but
Okay.
yeah, I had
Lance
no
Boyce
Rucker.
Rucker.
yeah, I had no interest in watching that show.
Yeah, you just to me that's one of those cases where I'm like, okay, Wesker has to look like a game. He just looks very specific, and at least get the sunglasses.
Yeah, I don't
And
know
why
what
does
it
he have a
is about
daughter?
them
Like he doesn't have
casting
emotion.
Wesker. I don't know what it is about putting Wesker to screen that they just can't get right. I don't. I really don't
Yeah,
understand, to be
yeah.
honest. Because even what's
Even
his
the one in the
face in
movie
the
was like terrible, dude.
you remember Welcome to Raccoon
The
City?
movie, yeah,
That was
it was so
awesome.
bad. He was like, that was not Wesker either, dude. I don't know who the hell that dude was trying to be. That was not Wesker. Dude.
Oh man.
Wesker is
I
like,
feel like he auditioned to be Chris, and they liked him, but they felt bad, so they were like, "Well, you'll be Wesker."
yeah, he's like Chris. Like, what the hell? The Wesker is like very much sociopath. He doesn't care about his family. He doesn't care about his daughter. Like I don't even know. Did they show him interact with Jake at all?
I don't think
That's what
they ever
makes
did.
like Wesker so good. He's just so evil. That's like the whole point.
Yeah.
He's like a comic book. I love this whole thing with Chris though. That's like the rivalry.
Yeah, and I just didn't buy it. Like, Wesker was just far too nice in that movie. I don't buy that he's like, I don't know. It's weird.
Yeah. Honestly, I feel like I would still like to watch the sequel. I still thought those movies were entertaining. Actually, I saw that with you, but I don't know, dude. They talking about how they're going to remake four. I don't know. Um, I don't know why they can't get Resident Evil right, dude. Like, what's it hard about?
It's just because the
They're
concept lends
zombies,
itself
bro. Come
pretty
on.
well to like a cool action flick.
I don't know. I feel like they're too like they made a mistake of making it too much like modern and casual like other zombie movies to appeal to the mainstream.
Yeah,
They forget what makes it weird and unique.
right. They need that weird Japanese flavor.
Yeah, because they need that craziness, you know.
Like, we need Biohazard. We don't need Resident Evil. We need Biohazard. That's what we need.
Yeah, give them those weird outfits, those like '90s like vests that they have on, and that whole vibe. I like that. That to me is like a big part of what makes it like just like what makes it special.
Yeah.
Yeah, even the bits of melodrama in between.
Yeah, I mean, like I love that. The worst is safe room music, man. That music is so well done. And like, they could have opportunities in the films, like use this kind of music to evoke that feeling, like loneliness or whatever it is. That's what I really like about. Sometimes I would play this music and I just wake in the safe room just listening to the music.
I'll
That's how
know
good.
that they did it. I'll know if once they get the movies right, if they could have Jill play Moonlight Sonata on the piano.
Yeah, they didn't have that. Also, it's weird. I feel like they had like Jill and Webster had like a chemistry, like they like had, I don't know, it was weird in the movie. I mean, they had like a tension or something.
So, what did you think of the Mila Jovovich movies?
Never seen.
I didn't even really watch those. I saw parts.
I heard the first one was decent, and then I know they did Nemesis for maybe the third movie or second one.
Yes, I saw the one with Nemesis, and I thought that, and I saw the train scene, and I thought that the design was really well done.
You know who I think would make a perfect Resident Evil movie, but just too many. I mean, it's so obvious that so many people are just going the wrong route.
Mm-hmm.
James Wan.
Yo, you're so
Because,
right
I
about that,
mean,
actually.
he's done Saw. Like, he does action so well in Aquaman and Furious 7, and then he did Saw. That's already a blockbuster franchise in a way. And it's just so obvious that they need to get him for Resident Evil.
He would kill that.
Wow, he almost made the reboot. That's crazy.
And just envisioning something like the Saw theme song, just imagining that with Resident Evil in the background, it's so fitting in a way.
Yeah.
We've got all the ideas on this podcast, man.
Exactly, dude. You're writing the script for him, man. I really do. I do want to watch them. I do want them to remake two anything. That's the one I want to see a movie for.
For a remake of 2.
Yeah, especially like that commercial that Romero directed.
Oh yeah, that's right.
And he did a great job. They should honestly just do that and just like copy everything about the like the outfits, just everything. Just copy it, and it's so unique.
Like,
Honestly, they could even put like a filter for the '90s, do like a VHS filter over that, and that would be so cool.
I think it would be great, like, because last night I saw the new A24 movie, Pearl, which was set in the 80s. And it has, like, wait, not Pearl, sorry, Maxine, which is set in the 80s. And, like, it has that 80s feel to it. I think that if they were to do something with Resident Evil where it starts out in the 90s, it looks like it's the 90s. The sequel is set in the 2000s, it looks like the 2000s, and then you work your way up to the present day, like where the filters and the vibe of it all changes with each entry.
That's a really cool idea.
Because I mean, Resident Evil with the household characters, it makes me think of Scream for some reason. Like how the characters have been essentially battling Umbrella and their minions and everything since the late 90s, and they're still active into the 2020s. I mean, there's something to compliment about there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Honestly, I was excited to see because I'm pretty sure there's like that movie was set in the '90s because they put like the text before it started, like the location and stuff.
Mm.
But it's okay. We don't need it because the graphics are already really good and movie like. So just keep playing them and hope that our children's children will get to enjoy the films. We don't need it. We have enough. Even if we die, Fallout's the only show left that we ever saw for gaming. I think you'd be happy, right?
That sounds like copium.
Yeah, I mean, more movies. Bro, they think Hitman is so great. Dude. Why is Hitman like? Is he? Do you think he's easy because he's bald and just wears a suit?
Well,
he has 6 movies. Dude.
I think so because before he died, they could cast Paul Walker as Hitman for the Agent 47 movie.
Like why? I mean, that's interesting. It is. He's British. Do they keep forgetting that he's British? Or he has like a very specific voice. Is he British? I can't ever tell. I can't tell with the voice, man.
Oh no, he's not British. The actor who voices him, I think he's Dutch. I think David Bateson. Like he just has like that clear voice that lends itself really well to something like Class.
Yeah, they need someone with that voice. Dude.
It's like if only studios could actually get someone in a room who can actually view the film as a piece of art, like an adaptation of a piece of art and not just a product, then I think you could have a clear way to go ahead. Because I mean, it was the reason The Last of Us worked is just because they brought on Craig Mazin, who already had the passion, and then Neil Druckmann. Like the creative inputs, they were all the way through.
Mm-hmm.
And Fallout worked because, I mean, come on, it's Jonathan Nolan. He knows he's Chris Nolan's brother.
Does he play Fallout, or is he just like, I'm going to make it good? He just did it.
That's actually a good question. I'm not quite sure.
That's a question I feel like we need this kind of. Well, does he even like the game?
if he doesn't play Fallout or doesn't care about Fallout, he's sure good at hiding it.
I know, right? I'm like, he definitely plays this shit. Dude. Like, you can tell when they're like, they don't know what they're doing, bro. Like with Hitman and like these other franchises, it's just like the difference is so clear.
I think he probably did play it because I remember reading once about Westworld that BioShock was part of the inspiration for some bits of the Westworld series.
Westworld. That's the shit that he worked on this, right? I mean, yeah, there's that whole mission in 3 where you're trapped. Remember that little girl that he's actually man, he traps you in that thing.
Mm-hmm.
The simulation, that was actually really creepy. I like that a lot. I was thinking of something else relating to Hitman. I forgot what it was. The thing with Hitman, I feel like they fail with the games too. Is like they really play into that him being a sociopath and like wanting to feel emotion, or I feel there's something that can be really profound in that, because he's definitely not a good guy by any means, but he's like not his fault. He's like a clone, I think that's really interesting. But that's why I didn't like that movie that much called The Killer, because I was really expecting a Hitman kind of movie, and I really think that he's a great actor for that. Michael Fassbender, who would do great as Agent 47.
Mm-hmm. How far along did you get in the movie?
I got to like when I was like at the halfway point. I don't know. I'll finish it another time. I just wasn't. I don't know. There's something about the vibe, and I was watching something else.
Oh, sorry. I saw it in theaters in Raleigh at the Alamo Draft House, and it wasn't my favorite Fincher movie, but it was good. But it just wasn't what I was expecting, especially some of the more comedic elements. And the final scene, it felt a little weird, a little anticlimactic, but I think it was really just trying to set out to do like that character study that you would have seen in something like American Psycho, because one of the key inspirations for the film was there's this French film from, I can't remember if it's the 60s or the 70s. It's called Les Samouraïs.
Oh, what's that?
And it stars Alain Delon as this French hitman who botches an assassination, and like the whole film is just so great. He's wearing a trench coat, a hat, a suit, carrying a gun. It's pretty much the same wheelhouse as Ryan Gosling in Drive or Travis Bickle, just that lone gunman, the loner from Society.
What was it called?
Les Samurai. And samurai is spelled a weird way. You have to add in an O after the
Yeah,
sam.
57.
Oh, yep, that's the one.
So this like listen up.
You cut out a bit there. What was that?
Is this like that movie you told me earlier, The Hunted?
Oh no, no, it's I've actually never even seen The Hunted, but they kind of have this same CQC scenes that you would expect from Metal Gear, but less samurai. It's kind of like The Killer. It's kind of like Drive. It's character study. It's the origin of he's literally me.
Oh, okay. Yeah. That I think there's like a book too. I've seen nothing like that. I don't even know Albert Camus, The Stranger. It's like supposed to be very famous, but kind of like that kind of character. I think it's French too. I don't know why that came to my mind though. But I might check this out tonight. I might watch The Hunted tonight next. I lost Splinter Cell. Thanks for recommending me that.
Hey, you bet.
Yeah,
Eric, aside from The Last of Us, what would you say is probably your favorite adaptation from a video game?
Probably Super Mario Bros. Like the newest one.
Yeah,
that movie's good.
Like it's actually
Check it out. It looks incredible. It looks like, man, we need to get some gummies and eat that shit. Watch it, dude.
Yeah, I just thought they did such a good job with like I feel like too many video game adaptations, especially of games that are super video gamey like Mario, try to make it all like they try to explain it or make it like realistic or make sense. Whereas like I'm like just I like how they just kind of own like what it was. They were like, oh, we have these power ups, we have all this different stuff that doesn't really make much sense, but it's just here, and they utilize it in a way that just works so well for like a movie. And I think they did such a good job. Not it was still like video gamey. It had all the references and it was fun, but it wasn't trying too hard to not be Mario. Because I feel like that's where they make the mistake, is they detach it too much from its original form to where it doesn't even feel recognizable anymore. But like the movie was like very much Mario without it feeling like too dumb, if that makes sense. I don't know. Like I just thought it was like perfect.
yeah, like it was being truthful without trying to change anything for fear of understanding or lack of.
Because I feel like they were like, we know who's gonna be watching this movie, Mario fans. We aren't trying to make this movie for people who don't play Mario. Mind you, people who don't play Mario can still enjoy it, of course, but it's very much a movie, like it's a Mario movie. Like I don't know, it's great. Do you guys have any?
Well, I'm probably going to sound, I don't know, geez, guilty pleasure, full disclosure, the original Tomb Raider starring Angelina Jolie.
Fair. I've never seen any of the Tomb Raider movies, but I've heard they aren't the best.
Like, it was one of the first video game movies I had watched as a kid. And, like, I just loved the whole fresh feel of it. And even the soundtrack was excellent. They had a remix of a U2 song on it. What was that, Eric? Good.
Sorry, I was gonna say I really like Mortal Kombat, and I think that was great. Honestly, both of them I thought were really good. I like the new one, but the old one. I was talking about the old one. Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Either. The first one's really good. The new one has this new character that doesn't really make sense at all. Like, why didn't he should have been Johnny Cage? Really. But it's not anything related to it. There is this show on YouTube. I think you guys will like. It's called Video Game High School. I watched that. I thought that was really awesome.
I've never seen.
I don't know if you know Freddie W.
I know of it though.
Yeah, but he made a lot of skits for like Metal Gear Solid based stuff. It was so awesome. I love that.
Have you guys watched that show Mythic Quest?
I saw parts of it. I really like I like Always Sunny, and that's like one of my favorite shows. So
I like Mythic Quest a lot. I haven't caught up on the recent season, but I thought it was like really cool.
I don't think I've ever watched it.
Do you know what it is?
What's it about?
It's basically it's like a sitcom. It's not like The Office, but in a sense, it's not a mockumentary or anything. But it's like Eric was saying, it's like It's Always Sunny. But it's these people that like work in like a game development studio, and they work on this like live service game, and it basically like shows like their hijinks or like them coming up with ideas and all this different stuff, and it's actually like really funny and interesting. It has Ashley Birch in it, who plays like Aloy and stuff like that. I don't know. I think it's really really funny, and also like really like cool for people like us who are like gamers, because it I feel like it gets like game culture and the industry and stuff like that, and it can be kind of satirical in ways. But yeah, I think it's really good and funny. I would recommend.
Did you watch Sonic?
I saw the first one.
Oh, I did.
I'm tempted to watch because they keep getting like crazy names to attach to it. I heard Knuckles was like really Keanu. Good too. Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't seen the second one, but I really like the first one. But yeah, I'm also not like I'm not a Sonic guy either. Like I've only played like a couple Sonic games. I've never been like a huge Sonic
guy.
I hear Knuckles is actually good. The spin-off show they gave him.
Yeah. That's what I was saying. Knuckles on Paramount, I think. I heard it was really good. I might have to watch it, man. There's this movie called, apparently a really good one. I don't know anything about, called Werewolves Within.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, I don't know too much about that one.
It got pretty good ratings, but yeah, I know the actor Sam Richardson. I like him. He was in this Apple murder mystery I was watching. But yeah.
Yeah, that's.
But I mean, that's which video game
all our topics.
I'll say that's all we got.
That was quick.
Yeah, I was gonna do.
Hey, man, I have my favorite.
What'd you say, Eric?
I was out here with this man. You know, I was.
Oh yeah, yeah. I had a couple of Seagrams.
Gonna do cheers.
Is it game kind of deal? I can stop recording. Yeah, you can if you want. Off.
You don't have to, man. I just wanted to show off. I'll hide my face.
Oh, gotcha. But yeah, I was gonna do another GTA 6 Reddit post, but I'll save that for next time because we're already almost at like 3 hours on the thing. So, but yeah, good conversation. Episode 10. I'm glad you guys are still putting up with me. No, I'm just kidding.
Me too, man.
But yeah, here's to 10 more. Let's see if we get to 20.
Yeah, man. we got, I believe. Real time.
Yep. Where we talk about
video
games in the real. for a time.
Yes.
We'll work on it. We'll workshop it.
Yeah. RTP, really talented people, man. That's what it stands for.
Yeah. I like that. We gotta get t-shirts.
Yeah. I'll think of something. Yeah, something more appropriate, I'll think.